time when freedom is needed the most.
Join me at Revolution Radio, Studio B, at 11 a.m. on Saturday for Free Association, when we take a look at philosophy, spirituality, psychology, social issues, and geopolitics. It's every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern on Studio B at freedomslips.com.
What is going on here? I demand an explanation.
We work for a highly funded yet unofficial government agency.
An intelligence organization that fears intelligence, historically not awesome.
The United States is a democratic nation. Here the people rule. We build no walls to keep them in, nor organize any system of police to keep them mute.
Freedom isn't free at all, but it comes with the highest of costs.
We have you, the listeners, and the hosts at
Revolution Radio
for allowing us to bring you a platform of free speech.
Right now, it's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines,
clock's run out. Time's up. Wind is blowing cold and dark. On the road and no way out. Broken house, the smoking gun.
I know a lot of you come here, you watch TV, you wait every night for somebody to come on here and give you an answer for your lives, waiting for someone that'll come and say, hey, this is it. I don't have to settle for defeat anymore. I can rise up out of my routine. I can get a hold of myself. I don't have to lose. I can win. There's something inside me that's not going to let me go down anymore. But I'm not the guy.
Please allow me to adjust my pants so that I may dance the good time dance and put the onlookers and innocent bystanders into a trance. Give the sea so the swine will marry and propagate lies. Tough luck for elected officials. The beast you see got 50 eyes. Bring it on home, spread the wealth, play it cool, the hand's been dealt. Now all the odds are in our favor, save the victory speeches for later. Streets on fire, the mob goes wild, wild, wild. Streets on fire, the mob goes wild. 21 guns, box made of pine, letter from the government sealed and signed, delivered Federal Express on your mother's doorsteps. 21 guns, box made of pine, letter from the government sealed and signed, delivered Federal Express on your mother's doorsteps.
ladies and gentlemen, live from the broken down, low rent, sleazy, double greasy pirate radio Nut Hut Studios. It's time for the very first ever Southern.
It's Friday night. It's freeworld.fm. It's Revolution Radio. It's independent broadcast network. My name's Jimmy, and Into the Microcosm is on the air.
Black and orange stray cat sitting on a fence. Ain't got enough dough to pay the rent. Flat broke, but I don't care. I strut right by with my tail in the air. Stray cat strut, I'm a lady's cat. I'm a feeling Casanova. Hey man, that's that. Get a shoe thrown at me from a mean old man. Get my dinner from a garbage can.
We got a good one planned for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Tournament. Are you there?
I am here.
Excelente. Well, you're stray cat strutting. Damn, watch out. I don't know how you manage to avoid that orange longboard every week after week. You're like a ninja.
It's like snatched a pebble from my hand, the surfboard, right?
I know, it is.
It's Master Po.
What is that fire dance called? Where they swing the burning coconuts and run around in grass.
The fire dance with the machetes on fire, dude. I know this one guy who's been doing that for years. His arms are all scarred up from missing. Yeah. You know, he's good at it.
What do they do? What do they do? Sit around swilling kava and then run around swinging those flaming coconuts?
Yeah, I don't know how they train for it, actually. You know, I mean, Master Po was blind. It's easy for him to say, right? He doesn't get to see all the blood everywhere. So, yeah.
Well, how do they get the coconuts to stay on fire? Is it they put that shit in, same stuff they put on, like...
the actual fire dancers, they don't use the coconuts. They actually, like, light the torch and pivot the torch and throw blades in between. It's freaking wild, man. It's amazing, actually.
It is wild. And then what is that? What is that canoeing? Now there's this canoeing there's like an ama on the side of the canoe, and it's like a whole thing over there, right? There's the canoeing. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, yeah. I tried to join that club. I'm not in that club though.
Traditional rowing. It's traditional rowing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm not sure how that works. Actually.
They don't let you in because you're white, right? I mean, don't you got to be?
I don't say that. That may not be the case. It may not be the case at all. Maybe I just suck at it. I don't know. I'll never know unless they let me in.
You got to be pretty badass to do that. I mean, it's a big thing. I can't believe you don't even know about it. Out of all the things you know in this world, man, you don't know about that. You live in Hawaii.
Yeah, well, I know they do it.
He's heard about it.
I don't know how they do it.
It does happen at some point.
Yeah.
All right, well, forget about it. Maybe you should go check it out. Get yourself a canoe. Throw an ama on the side and see if you can get some dudes to bang on some drums. And, it's like at the very, the intro to
Survivor.
Hawaii 5-0.
No, it's like a Survivor.
They're paddling right there. That's what it's called, paddling.
Yeah.
Paddling, right? Isn't that not what it's called?
No, you are just paddling. My girlfriend back in the 80s, she got to go do that.
You paddled your girlfriend back in the 80s? We can't hear you, Bruce. You're muted.
Well, we won't talk about my paddling with the girlfriend, but the girlfriend paddled, and there She got to go out there. So no, I tried when it was right when the pandemic started, so I didn't get to go join the canoe club. I can now though. So hopefully I'll get let in there.
You
we'll
should,
see.
man. I mean,
I'll tell you all about it.
You're out in the sun. You're getting ripped. You're paddling.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing. Like,
pecs.
Why do you want to go pay for a gym? Do you know how much a gym membership costs here, man? It's like $300. It's $180 for like the cheapest one here on West Maui right now. $180 a month.
Let me tell you something, man. Gym memberships are like selling a house, renting to own. Okay, they're never gonna make the payments to own it. And when someone joins a gym, they never go back. The first they go there, the day they sign up is the day they go to the gym, for the most part, and then they just pay endlessly. How much does it cost a month? $300? You're telling me $300?
Well, it's $100. It's $180 for like the introductory membership at the one here on West Maui. Yeah.
All I can say is if you're going to a gym, I don't know. I don't think. I mean, do construction workers go to gyms? I don't know.
You're in Hawaii, right? There's that. Where are you going to gym?
Bruce
I think it's for people who want to wander around looking at other naked men in the locker room. It's a bit gay.
I think you're right. There's something about it that just doesn't seem natural.
Hey, Bruce, let me tell you this. Like when you go there to join the gym, because I was going to go join the gym. It's like, well, I put on some weight during the pandemic. I want to go hit the machines or whatever, and maybe help myself with some cardio, because I don't want to run around the street, get killed, run over by some tourists. So I go there, and it's like there's this whole thing, like how you have like the speakeasy with the shuttering door kind of thing. So you go up there and they have like a QR code you have to scan. They won't let you in. You see the people working out inside, like they're mannequins. You see them through the tinted glass, and you come around the corner and go through the front door. Let's talk to somebody, and the door's locked. The only access is to go back around upstairs and scan that QR code. It's shady as heck, isn't it? I mean, come on, man. There's something weird about it. I'm telling you right now. My conspiratorial mind just can't let that go.
There's something weird about there being a gym in Hawaii. You telling me there's people that are going to go into an air-conditioned gym in Hawaii to go lift weights and run on like a rubber mat while they watch TV?
Well, because it existed before the pandemic and stuff. There's not an excuse, right? I mean, this is the way it was before that. Right?
Dude, I swear to God. Listen, when I lived in Los Angeles, I lived in Venice Beach. I literally lived on the boardwalk. The last place that I would ever go is to Venice Beach. I would leave. I mean, I would be in Venice Beach. I would just never hit the sand. I only hit the water twice, and whenever I did hit that water, I wore tennis shoes, man. Because when it rains, the LA River Basin, it's dry most of the time until it rains. And then it rains, and then all those needles and all that shit just washes down the LA River Basin thing and goes right into the ocean.
Call them wayfarers, right? You gotta wear your wayfarers going out there.
Well, I'm just saying, man. You don't want to run around barefooted in certain places over there. I'd go to Topanga Canyon on the weekends instead. There'd be hordes and millions of people there. At that time, when it was just regular, the world before the pandemic, pre-pandemic, there's like 1 million people a day would walk down that boardwalk from end to end, just looking at all the different stuff and the people and the shops or whatever and all the entertainers and the artists and the fucking psychics and all the shit that used to be out there. There used to be some good stuff out there, man. Seriously, there used to be, but now, there's a video channel called A German in Venice. And there's this German dude who started walking around Venice with a camera. Now he's got millions of subscribers. So he's actually the German in Venice. You can check him out. But, Venice is a completely different place than it was when I was there. When I was there, it was still a shithole.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm just saying, when I was there, it was still a shithole. Go ahead.
So, because I got recently back on X, Twitter, or whatever, just to look around, because because what happened to Maui, right? About the Maui wildfires. I quit for a year and I went back there for that.
Of course.
And so after I scrubbed all the Nazis out, and I selected all the things and banned as many people as I could. They were giving me all the terrible stuff.
Wait a minute, you scrubbed out the Nazis? Is that what you said?
yeah. It's because there's a bunch of them, man. There is. It's just the way it is. So you have to like figure them out. All the Russian bots. You have to ban them. You finally get filtered down to where you can see something that's legible. It's like scribbles. Otherwise, imagine like the middle picture of a scribble online. That's what it is until you do that, and it's like, okay, now it's manageable. And I'm doing that, and I see this article. And because they repeat a lot of news stories on what used to be Twitter, like what Twitter you did back in the day. And it's like, oh, this is article. And I thought it was interesting. It's like, oh, great. This is really interesting.
All right, man. All right.
Artificial intelligence has suggested that humankind has amnesia from 2020 to 2022. That the human race has amnesia from 2020 to 2022.
I believe it.
Well, that's pretty interesting. So I started thinking about it, right? Like, wow, that, let me think about that. What do I remember from that time span? What do I remember from that time span? I started thinking about it. And then I thought, you know what? I better look this up because it's X, it's Twitter, right? It turns out that's the only reference there is. It's that guy's post. It was like a long white paper post that the guy put on there, but it's the only reference there is in the entire internet. But it's still an interesting question, isn't it? I mean, if you think about it, yeah, there is a certain amount of amnesia, I think, about that. I don't remember as many things from that era as I would in the time frames.
It's all a blur, man.
Well, because the theory was, as presented there, was that things were so boring and repetitive because everybody's inside all day and surfing the internet all the time that they weren't getting this kind of stimulus they would normally. Mm-hmm. And therefore, life events didn't anchor in the memory like they would normally, because they were all artificial and put there like watching a TV show.
Just one constant. It's like a constant dopamine IV. People just laying around, just foaming out the mouth.
So eloquently, yeah.
More dopamine. Where do I get it? Over here.
But that's the only reference. He made it up, basically, is what I'm saying. But it got me thinking enough to look it up in the first place. What do you guys think? Is there something to it, though?
I do think there's something to it. I absolutely do, because I mean, we talked about when it was going on in the moment. We talked about the 90-day period that it takes to reprogram somebody. And so during that first 90 days was the most important part of that whole operation, was to get people into the mode of singing on their balconies or whatever. You know what, dude? I don't really honestly want to go down this road, but I just want to mention this. Now, there was a moment in that beginning thing where everybody was singing on their balconies at a certain time at night or whatever. The prisoners were it's like the prisoners were banging their cups on the steel bars or whatever at the same time. But there was this whole thing going on in Italy, and then there was this thing where they were showing this place with all these corpses. It was like all these bodies laying on these stretchers inside this room, and it was in Italy. And there was like 20 different people in that room, and not one of them was wearing any kind of a mask or whatever. And I was wondering, I'm sitting there thinking, because this is at the very beginning of the thing, and this is one of the realizations that I had during the thing, is because this whole thing was like that. There was all these strange, out of place things that doesn't make sense. Like, that didn't make sense. If there was rotting bodies from some pandemic in a room, would people be just milling around in there, going, "Look at that guy, Bob. Look at the look on his face. Woo! He didn't die happy, did he? No." I mean, it's literally, it was unbelievable. So there was a lot of theater going on, wasn't there? Epic Journeyman. There's a lot of theater going on during that whole thing. Theater.
There totally was. It totally was. I mean, and it's all about impressions. So when as much psychology as we've delved into on this channel, we should be able to name all the authors of existentialism and everything else along the way, right? Because it's beyond psychology 101. We're like an advanced psychology at this point. And this whole thing is about the impressions and making that impression with the music to accompany it, with the image and the heartfelt, they're singing for the dying and, just pulling your heartstrings and all that stuff. Yeah, it's absolutely meant to, it's just like it's no different than the old school biological impressions of the duck seeing the first person it sees after it hatches out of the egg and making the biggest impression with a physical act to impress upon that fledgling. I mean, it's in the fledgling in this case is our minds.
The thing is that 90 days of getting everybody to behave in a certain way is the same thing as like trying to quit smoking or trying to whatever you're going to try to quit eating or whatever it is. You need 90 days to break yourself of that habit, you know? And just like you need 90 days to break yourself of that habit, that same 90 days is something that changes people, you know? And no one got a 90-day period to change themselves back, did they? So everybody's still in that mode, right? We're all in this mode of the stasis, the stationary lifestyle. Nobody moved, nobody gets hurt. Because where are you going?
Well, I got to thinking about it.
I'm just saying, where are you going, man? Can you go anywhere? Because people are, people's worlds are getting smaller and smaller, man. You used to be able to fly here, fly there. People ain't flying nowhere, man. You know what I heard Pastor Butch say today on his show? I heard him say that he was reading this article that they went back and they bought a bag of groceries from some movie in the 80s. They bought the exact bag of groceries from some popular movie. I didn't catch the name of the movie. But the point was that they said that that same bag of groceries and the price of it has gone up 268% since the 80s. A bag of groceries. So who's traveling? Where are they going? No one's going anywhere, man. Nobody moves. Nobody gets hurt, man. Going back in your patio and howl at 7:00. You know, I swear to God, I didn't know people were howling during that thing, and I was doing shows, and I was like, man, these coyotes are getting out of control around here. You know?
Well, we were doing daily shows. That's what I was about to say. Back then, when this time frame they're talking about, we were doing shows daily, literally every day.
I know.
Right? Recall. And so I was thinking about it, like, what do I remember about that time? Well, I remember things we did. The Playboy thing came up in that. There's a lot of things that came up in that. The orphan thing came up in that. So I have anchor memories because of that. Anchor memories are a big part of people in my Delafit community, by the way. So it's one of the things that people will pay attention to because it is one consistent thing.
Aren't they really kind of, isn't really the operation itself really counting on people forgetting? I mean, people have forgotten the shit that has gone on, man. I mean, literally, if you made a list of, which we should do it. We should do like a retrospective of what happened. Because seriously, I mean, some of the stuff that has happened over this period of time and in the thick of it, all the shit that was going on, the snake venom in the water.
Yeah, watch the water, bro. Watch the water.
Watch the water.
Never mind that I swatted myself at my Florida home to get attention to it. So you're not gonna block my movie, bro. You're gonna, yeah. Oh, it was hilarious.
Bruce McDonald's trading stocks in the background on his new Starlink hookup. He's high speed trading, ladies and gentlemen. He's making money.
Hey, Starlink is no joke. I know Bruce is going to talk about it later. I can certainly weigh in on this too. Like for people in general, for human race. And I know it sounds profound and maybe over profound, but no, it's a game changer, man. It really is. Like it's the difference between the regular world as we've known it and happen to live in some studio compartment somewhere and work in some cubicle and be able to do anything you want anywhere in the world and still have the same kind of throughput where you're going to have just as much productivity, if not more. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing.
Well, yeah. I mean, something's got to be done about it, right? So what's the big thing? There's two things that are going on. There's a bunch of people that don't have anywhere to live, and there's a bunch of commercial buildings that have a bunch of empty space in it. So
so they should live there. Exactly.
The natural thing that's must happen is they're going to make space for those people.
Because there's plenty of space.
Right? So as long as you have a high-speed internet connection, it doesn't matter, right? You can just live in one of those office buildings. Over there in whatever big city, choose one. It doesn't matter. Commercial real estate is collapsing all across the United States of America. And Basel III is about to come to fruition, Bruce. How much is that? It's 10 trillion.
everything going on in the world now is just a dust cloud. If you think you've mapped a plan out through this, you're just kidding yourself.
Yeah.
The plan is killing 7.5 billion of us. That's the plan. Okay? There ain't no China taking over. Do you really think we're going to go back to gold and silver when clearly the only real wealth in the world, as defined by the technology boom from 1980 onwards, is human intellect? What does gold have to do with anything? What's valuable now are the engineers, are people like this. I mean,
I feel what you're saying on that. I can see what you're saying, but at the same time, in a situation where it's a future, say, without the ability to use the mechanized world that we personally have known. Okay, so you say there's engineers. Well, there's engineers. What does that mean? Well, can they build a lathe from scratch with no tools, so that they can machine a part? You know what I mean? I mean, at the point that you're at a place where intellect is king, intellect can only be king in a certain type of world. Okay, because in a world where gold and silver are a means of holding your wealth or your money, that gold and silver is still going to be worth something when the streets are, when the mob rules. Okay, intellect will have no value when the mob rules. Intellect won't.
Explain that to me. What are you gonna do with an ounce of silver after the dollar goes under? You gonna go down to 7-Eleven and get a Slurpee with an ounce of silver?
No, there won't be a 7-Eleven. There won't be a 7-Eleven for a Slurpee then.
Yeah,
but that's
it's
not
like Bane says at the beginning of The Dark Knight Rises. The plan is crashing this plane, no survivors.
Right. So the thing is all the engineers in the world don't mean shit.
No, but look, that's not my case. I just used that off the top of my head as an example to show how ludicrous it is to believe that gold or silver are going to stabilize how we define wealth.
No, you're right. You're right.
Clearly, we should have gone to a commodities and productivity-based currency decades ago. The reason
you're talking about, what's his face, man? The Zeitgeist guy. What's the name?
Well, I mean, everybody said it. I mean, one of the best interviews I've ever seen in the alternative media was, around about 15 years ago, with this guy named Dr. Pete Peterson, when Project Camelot was still together with Bill Ryan, David Wilcox, Terry Cassidy. And I mean, he just lays it all out, just like so casually. A year later, his wife dies, of course, because they always send you a message when you open your mouth if you have insider knowledge.
Well, for the people,
it's so simple. The problem, I don't know why we keep complicating this. The problem is the bankers. You want out of this? Shakespeare was wrong. Don't kill all the lawyers. Kill all the bankers. Go to a stable currency. Get rid of the middleman. Do debt relief, international debt relief. China owes America this. America owes China. Kill the middleman. Chop his fucking head off and just settle this.
All right, Bruce.
Are we really going to let 6 billion people die so some fucking goof can make his interest on a loan?
Figuratively. Kill.
Well, I think it's more interesting than that in a way. I worked on ITER, which is a nuclear fusion project, right? At General Atomics is worldwide. It's not just General Atomics, obviously. It's 100 and some odd nations, and the thing is, it's gonna work, dude. It's gonna absolutely work. I mean, I worked on it. It's gonna work, and the thing is, they're gonna do it on the Swiss-French border, over there. They're building it over there, and if it blows up over there. It's good for them. It's not over here. But at the same time, it's gonna work. And the thing is, once you do that, we've built a nuclear fusion. We built a mini star on our planet, and energy is free. And once energy is free, everything's free. I mean, think about it.
That's what I mean.
Everything's free.
If you're not ready to move in the future, man, then get out of the way, Bruce.
But just think about that means though. Like the people who want to, the people against that, to Bruce's point, I think, is what you're saying is that people don't want that to happen, right? They don't want that to happen because
everything that's being done to us now is being done through the means by which we trade money. I always go back to the trucker convoy protest in Ottawa and what Trudeau did. It was just so that little weasel could have that. Nobody even knew they could do this. Everybody's telling you, oh, get crypto. They shut down all the crypto. They just picked up a phone.
That's why.
Called the crypto exchanges, said, we're the Canadian government. We want you to freeze that. Okay. They call GoFundMe that freeze that $10 million. Okay.
Let me ask you. Hey, Bruce.
Because government gives the licenses. That's why.
Hey, Bruce, let me ask you a question.
Sure, man.
Did that little weasel, that little needle dick, the bug fucker, king shit at Turd Mountain, did he call up and cancel anybody's gold or silver? Did he cancel anybody's gold or silver? No.
Had anybody sold gold and silver, so it was a useful tradable commodity on the streets, at the convenience stores, at the grocery store, they would have blocked the person driving in and seized it. Seized the money. Okay.
Listen,
the problem with gold and silver is it doesn't have any immediate utility. It's like a frozen asset. There's no liquidity to it.
Exactly.
You have to sell it, change it into a fungible asset, and then start spending it.
You can change that bitch. When the world ends, you'll be able to change that gold coin for a quart of vodka. You know, a crank radio, pack of cigarettes.
Well, I think what the point I guess I'm trying to make is that when energy is free, or near free,
what
right?
was the guy?
Then the problem is that transmutation of matter is absolutely possible. It already is possible. In every nuclear reactor on a submarine out there, a certain amount of gold gets produced inside the core, because it literally turns the lead part of the shielding into gold. It's not alchemical. It's absolutely modern science. I mean, we all know this now, because what happens is that the neutrons pass through and break apart certain parts of matter, and the atomic composition is changed, and it literally changes lead to gold. And every time they go in and refurbish one of these nuclear submarines that has this 13-year life of a reactor core, they find a certain amount of gold in the reactor shielding. It wasn't there before. It was made by the nuclear reaction. But if nuclear fusion becomes a commonplace way of producing energy on the planet, then there's nothing that can't be made. It's a replicator from Star Trek. Every single element that's available to be made can be created.
And we talked about that replicator, where you take you roll up the tablecloth with all the dishes and everything in it. You throw it in the hole, and then it just pops out with a fresh, cashmere, long coat to keep you warm. You can make anything out of anything.
What I was getting at basically, is just basically every single option out there and it was actually you guys who made me start thinking this way, because I was stupid enough to believe that Trump might be a solution. And then after I ran it through the old Bruce CPU in my head a few more times, I came back with the conclusion: there's no solution. There's nothing. Everything you think is going on out there is a lie. Okay? Yeah. China is in chaos, man. They have massive population problems, massive population reduction problems. So does Japan. Germany's finished now that the Nord Stream got blown up. Nord Stream 2, one of the great producers on the world. It seems like everything is just folding up the way Barnum and Bailey Circus packs up at midnight on a Sunday when nobody's watching. You wake up Monday morning and there's just a few hot dog wrappers in the parking lot, and you go, how did they get all that stuff out of here in one night?
I know. It's crazy, but you know what? You're right, though. You're right. And believe me, they're storing their wealth somewhere that is still going to be there after the shit hits the fan. The people that are in the know have their funds, their assets put away, and they're literally. That's why they're just ripping everything off right in front of everybody. They're shoving the money in their pockets out the door. There's like stacks of $100 bills. You know, it's a soprano wad up in here. But listen, here, you say there's no solution, but there was a solution. Remember this guy? Hang on a second. Let me see what comes out of this. I'm going to just squeeze this lemon right here.
Spirituality is a particular term which actually means dealing with intuition.
Krishnamurti?
In the theistic tradition, there is a notion of clinging into a word. A certain act is regarded as displeasing to divine principles. A certain act is regarded as pleasing for the divine whatever. In the tradition of non-theism, however, it is very direct that the case history are not particularly important. What is actually important is here and now.
Okay, there was a movie called Zeitgeist. And then after Zeitgeist, there was Zeitgeist Addendum. Do you remember that, Epic Journeyman?
The Venus Project, yeah.
Exactly. The Venus Project. That's exactly what Bruce is talking about, man. He doesn't realize it. He doesn't. Hold on a second. Let's get into this a little bit because it ties into what we were going to bring to the table a little bit later too. Because this commodity-based, asset-based economy that Bruce was talking about, not based in money, but based in whatever resources are available, or the resources of your particular place where you are is what is the currency. And that's exactly what the psychology behind the Venus Project was, wasn't it?
So we're not going to do that because that would immediately tell the African countries how much they're worth based on the resource base, turn the currency over to them, and we couldn't exploit it. Okay? So, we, the Western world, the people maintaining this money system, are largely the problem in the world right now. Okay? And how we can't see this and come together on the left and the right is just absolutely mind-boggling to me. The closer we get to D-Day, and we're marching slowly there, and I mean, it's happening right in front of our eyes, man. Not a day goes by where you can't see somebody falling over at a podium having a heart attack. Yeah. And it's happening right in front of us, and people still can't get their heads around it. Like,
when I'm going to work and I listen to the regular radio coming in my FM dial, I hear ads where the lady goes, "Oh, Sally's husband died suddenly. Oh, it's a good thing they had that insurance so that they didn't lose the house." And I'm like, died suddenly is just like a thing, like it's like a disease, died suddenly. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyways, it's called SAD, Sudden Adult Death Syndrome. SADS. Don't be sad, be glad. Go down to the suicide pod and have all the nitrogen sucked out of your atmosphere so you can... Huh, Bruce? That's how the little weasel dick up there in Canada, he's legalizing it. You can just go down there. You know what, man? Hey, I understand you got that knee problem. Why don't you just come down here and just kill yourself?
I'm laughing because I have a knee problem, right? That's funny.
You know how I've been saying on this show that there will be stages to this demolition?
Yes.
And we haven't hit the stage yet where they go after the tens of trillions of dollars in retirement plans and savings amongst the Gen Xers and baby boomers.
Right.
Well, I figured out how they're going to do it. I came across a book that came out in the middle of September called The Great Taking. And I've been doing it all week on McDonald in the Morning. And it's a former hedge fund manager who's sort of blowing the whistle. And they've changed the Uniform Commercial Code. So the next big bankruptcy we have, like the 2007 one, but this one will be much more many more banks. The way the law reads now is the creditors have first access to the assets. So you are the beneficial owner of your own money in a bank account. But there's a legal status. The creditor has a higher legal status in a bankruptcy than we do. They're literally going to take everything. They're going to collapse the system, and they're going to take everything.
Yes.
We're talking breadline here. Breadline.
Mm-hmm.
Go down to the local high school and get a box of food.
Yep, it's exactly what's going to happen. But the thing is, though, Bruce, on the other side of that, there's going to be value, and the value will be in these CDBCs. And the thing is they need, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the people who are in the know, they have already moved their money to whatever new system there's going to be. Because when this system needs to go away, because they have to erase the quadrillions of derivatives and all their debt. I think, honestly, in my heart of hearts, I do believe that when everything crashes and they absolve themselves of their debt, I'm pretty sure they're going to absolve all the regular people of their debt too, because there's going to be an outcry. Okay, but then
absolutely, that's the plan, 100%.
Oh yeah, and then they're going to move into the new world, epic journeyman. Right, we're moving into a world that no one can even conceive of at this point.
Yeah, it's been prepared for us for years, for decades actually, if not centuries. Yeah, but the thing about this is that it's so obvious that it's mind-boggling how obvious it is. I mean, why would they let you know it's coming, and then do everything to let you see that it's coming, and then once you see it's coming, affirm all your suspicions that it's coming, just to let you take the hit that much easier when it does come?
What happened?
I mean,
what happened with that whole Evergrande thing in China?
Well, excellent question, Jimmy. We haven't seen much news on that, have we?
No, we have not.
Yeah, I mean, probably the largest public bankruptcy in U.S. history, and there's no news. There's a complete blackout on financial news, right? I mean, it's unbelievable.
Okay, so this is a rumor that I heard. So I have not verified this or checked it out, but I heard that 12 U.S. banks were canceling these credit card processing companies, that they no longer need their services. This week on the 15th was supposed to happen. No, like I said, I didn't see it. I didn't go look at it, but it might be something somebody wants to look at. Go take a look at it and see. But I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, everything's on the brink of destruction. Like I said, if a bag of groceries is up 268%, I mean, I don't see how people are affording it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a single taxpayer, okay? And I don't make a little bit of money. I don't make a lot of money. I make regular money, I'm not nothing big, just regular money. And, paycheck to paycheck, Jack, because I get paid every 2 weeks. And trying to paid every 2 weeks with inflation. It's like 2 weeks goes by and shit inflates. By the time I can buy less, it's like my paycheck's worth less the longer it sits there. I mean, at this point, at this point, you should almost be paid by the hour directly into your electronic account. It's like, why are we dicking around? What do I got to wait 2 weeks for? You know what I mean? Pay me now. Pay me today. Pay me at the end of the day. Boom, boom. It comes in my account. Now I can buy a loaf of bread. It's going to cost me $1 less because I got to buy it tomorrow or next week. It's going to cost me $1 more. You know what I mean, Bruce? It's the secret. It's the secret tax. But you are 100% right. And it's funny that you said 10.
It's how the pyramids are built,
It's funny that he said 10 trillion, because I heard that this
tens. Tens of trillions.
Yeah, I heard that this Basel III was going to cause $10 trillion of a payment that is supposed to happen. It's supposed to happen like now, before the end of the year. This $10 trillion. And it's funny that that the debt, what's the debt of the United States of America? It's funny, it's $10 trillion.
So, I watched this Joseph P. Farrell video on his website. Very smart guy. You guys know who he is. About 2 weeks ago. He did this spontaneous video where he listed the top 10 banks in the United States for just the top 10, and there's like hundreds of banks, but the top 10 for derivatives liability, and the top 10 alone were like over 400 trillion. Okay? And so there isn't enough money in existence to underwrite this derivatives market.
That's why they gotta crash that shit out and move into this new stuff. They gotta wipe that whole thing out. It's gotta be wiped clean, Epic Journeyman. Remember when we did the tabletop exercise with G. Gordon Liddy's 5-person terrorist team could shut down the United States of America? And one of the things that they talked about was the wiping out of the electronic records in Wall Street. How that
it was in reverse, right? Because he's talking about the Nixon era stuff when the electronic was minor compared to the actual physical documents that were existing today.
Right.
And he is far-sighted, if you will, because he has it right now. I mean, so those debates they have between G. Gordon Liddy and Timothy Leary are some of the best things people can watch. I encourage everyone who hasn't seen those, go back and watch them.
Definitely.
They're
but
fantastic.
Listen, don't get caught up in the G. Gordon Liddy. Listen.
But your point is right. Like the whole thing is these fungible assets, as Bruce said earlier, don't actually mean anything at all. At all. They don't mean anything at all. Like in the end, when I say in the end, I don't mean like the world calamity, the asteroid's about to hit. I just mean they don't actually have real value because the value we put them in the given to them isn't actually based on anything. It's based on belief. The belief is the currency. Belief is the currency of the universe. Belief is the currency of the universe.
It is.
Yes,
so it's not. So it's not about whatever coin or gold or silver or anything else. It's about what you believe it is, right? And as more people awaken to that, it's going to become more prevalent and more directed as a weapon to get people as a carrot hanging in front of them to motivate them. And unfortunately, it is artificial intelligence that is going to make this something that we're not going to be able to walk back from, because we're not going to be able to be smarter, faster than the artificial intelligence is.
No.
It's a problem. It's a very real problem.
You
man.
can't, and you can't unknow shit once you learn it either.
Right.
So the thing is, you can't go backwards. Like if AI takes civilization somewhere, that it's not going there now, but now it will, because there was some simple solution that nobody could see for whatever reason.
This was great. No, this was great. The solution per the people who are programming AI right now, and it's in multiple. You can look this up. Everybody, I encourage you to look this up yourself. Don't trust me. Look it up yourself. The very way that they're trying to make AI okay is to make it forget, make AI have amnesia. In other words, AI makes decisions in the moment. It can't remember what it did. How ridiculous is that? I'm just asking. How ridiculous is that? That is like, okay, we're going to give this godlike power to something. That something's going to have this godlike power over us. We won't forget anything we ever did, ever. But it can forget what it decided. That's the solution. It's insane. Yeah, this is like
what was that movie, Memento, where the dude had to
I never saw Memento. I know. I
never saw Memento.
They had that movie in the store, and I never saw it. Yeah, I know. I'm a total idiot for not watching it.
There's a condition. There's some sort of a brain disorder where people forget what happens today. I mean, they only tomorrow you won't remember what happens today at all. You'll just know, like who you are. I think there's a couple of movies. There was like a romantic comedy with Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
50 First Dates.
Yeah, and you have to write it down because tomorrow you won't remember. But I mean, obviously, we're almost to that point now with the attention spans getting smaller and smaller. And
ironically, that was the AI was saying, right? What I brought up earlier, that we have amnesia from 2020 to 2022.
It makes sense.
It turns out that guy just made that stuff up. There's no other reference to that.
Was it a guy or an AI guy? You never know. AI made it up.
That's my question, right? Maybe the AI made that up. There is a problem with this. Because when you start getting into social media and interactions and nudging and social influencing, how do you know it's a human on the other side?
You don't. And but does it? See, that's the question. That's the big question. Does it really matter? Does it? If you have a problem and now you have a solution, does it really matter if there's a person on the other side? It only relates to you as a person, because without it, you wouldn't identify with it and listen to it. It's like the psychological value of hearing the keyboards of this from the robotic voice when I call and pay my phone bill. It's like, let me check your account. It's like, man, you're not typing on a keyboard. Why are they putting the sound effects of someone typing on a keyboard when it's just a robot there? It's not typing on a keyboard.
It's like a laugh track.
That's what I mean. It's just a piece of sound to trick my mind into believing that this is a human being. Why do I have to? Why do I have to?
Right, like they're doing this work, typing on the keyboard. Exactly.
All right, here, listen. Let's take a quick listen to the couples and see what happens when I play this or squeeze this lemon. Hold on. A Roxanne Meadows production. Jacques Fresco.
The entire money-structured and materialistic-oriented society is a false society. Our society will go down in history as the lowest development in man. We have the brains, the know-how, the technology, and the feasibility to build an entirely new civilization.
Bruce McDonald, Paradise or Oblivion?
It was living through the 1929 Great Depression that helped shape my social conscience. During this time, I realized the Earth was still the same place. Manufacturing plants were still intact, and resources were still there, but people didn't have the money to buy the products. I felt the rules of the game we play by were obsolete and insufficient. Misery, suffering, and war provided the incentive for my life's work. I was also motivated by the seeming incompetence of governments, the academic world, and the lack of solutions offered by scientists. I realized instead of working with individuals, a more effective method would be to redesign the culture. This began a lifelong quest to finding solutions to the many problems that we have today.
This is Friday night, Revolution.radio, freeworld.fm, and the Independent Broadcast Network. We're talking about the future. We're talking about different ideas of ways that human beings may or may not be living sometime in the near future. Mine's Jimmy, here with Epic Journeyman and Bruce McDonald. We're so glad you're here. Come on down and become a supporter of Revolution.radio, freeworld.fm, and Independent Broadcast Network. Going to be right back.
Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. We'll be right back after this message.
Hey everyone, it's Barbara Jean Lindsay, the Cosmic Oracle. If you have questions about your past lives or future plans, need answers from the cosmos about your love life or career, or just want to keep your finger on the pulse of the planet, check out my show, The Cosmic Oracle, here on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com.
Did you ever feel that things were not quite right? That everything was just ever so slightly askew?
Do you have, to paraphrase Morpheus, a splinter in your mind?
If you're interested in hearing the latest information about UFOs, the paranormal,
ancient cultures and structures,
monatomic elements,
longevity,
fantastic discoveries in science,
downloaded to your brain,
then tune into us. Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Mackie.
And we are Shiny Side Out, Sundays 2 to 4 a.m. Eastern. See you then.
Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. You don't need to expect us. We're already here.
The Secret Kindergarten is here for the young children of the world. The best program on the radio for kids. Dealing with the most important topics in the whole universe. Fairy tales, music and movement, numbers, plants, animals, fun, colors, insects. Take care and cast your ears out to catch a story from the world of other young things. Reach out, up, under, and over. Sing a song. Talk about feelings. Just remember the magic word. The magic word is no! Step on into the Secret Kindergarten. Saturdays, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Right here on Revolution Radio.
Check in every Thursday night for the Crypt Rick and Jonathan Show. Studio A, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right here at the #1 listener-supported radio station, Revolution Radio.
Join me at Revolution Radio, Studio B, at 11 a.m. on Saturday for free association, when we take a look at philosophy, spirituality, psychology, social issues, and geopolitics. It's every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern on Studio B at freedomslips.com.
I want to thank everybody for listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, the one place where information never sleeps. Revolution Radio.
All right, let's show them what we got.
All right, thanks for listening while we took that short break here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. And now we're going to get back to your host.
It's Friday night. Mine's Jimmy. It's hour number 2.
Was the hottest summer in like 20 years. I had no feelings 'cause I had no fears. The sun goes down and then the mercury falls. Ain't no tomorrow when the moonlight calls. You do the only dance.
It's freeworld.fm.
It's the only dance there is. It's the only dance.
It's revolution.radio.
You do the only dance there is.
Independent Broadcast Network.
Yeah!
Epic Journeyman. Is the perimeter clear of intruders?
The perimeter is definitely clear of intruders.
Oh, good. So you got those night vision goggles.
Sawed-off palmetto.
What? Seriously? What the hell?
So, yeah.
What the hell with those night vision goggles? People look up and see giant ships up above us.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you this. My friend in San Diego, he bought a Russian pair of military night vision goggles. And I was in San Diego, and I, it's a pretty big city with a lot of city lights, and it's not like it's here in Hawaii, and because there's light pollution. And I took those goggles and I wandered around, walking through city streets at night. I mean, suburban streets at night, but it's not that well lit. And it was amazing the things you'd see. Like it was amazing. Like how is it possible? Are these all satellites? Are these all airplanes flying by? What are they? I saw the same thing. I'm wondering myself. Like
I don't know.
I'm inclined to believe it's just satellites and airplanes, but
well,
you can definitely see them.
It's just like Bruce. It's just like Bruce was saying. So there he is on the mountain. Now he's got Starlink. And Bruce is saying in a resource-based economy, the worst thing that could happen would be that the Africans would find out how much resource they had. And so the thing is the keeping of Africa in the dark like mushrooms is over. They have access to the internet now. They're not stupid. As a matter of fact, a bunch of people, during the pandemic, people spoke out and got killed over there, didn't they? Epic Tournament. The guy said, "I ain't doing it."
No, not only that, but it became and is becoming a big deal. So this is like a thing we haven't talked about really on the network here. We should, and it's about how Russia has tried to monopolize disinformation warfare spectrum. I'm talking about full spectrum warfare, right? To pivot Africa against the West, and why shouldn't they? It's an obvious one to pivot to, right? I mean, we did exploit Africa.
You got to ask yourself. Well.
So the problem is they're exploited for themselves, right?
Britain,
that's my bottom line here.
Britain exploited it, didn't they?
Well, it's not
for the most part.
Well,
I'm just saying for the most
Rhodesia after Cecil Rhodes. Are you kidding me? Is there anything more obvious? Is there a more obvious thing in history than that? I mean, it really is. I mean, no, it's horrific. I mean, Cecil Rhodes is a monster by every manner you could possibly try to think about it.
Let's not go down the monster road for now, because what we were talking we're about to talk about is this resource-based Venus Project type future that Bruce is bringing to the table. Now, remember when we had Zoltan on?
Yeah.
Okay, well
Zoltan would probably come on the show. It's just that he's like he's employed. He's doing articles in New York Times, and he's doing articles and other places right now. He doesn't really feel a necessity to probably come back to us, but he might. He might. He's a cool guy, man. I mean, we showed that on the show when we had him on.
Now,
and he might.
Can you tell people now? You've been out shaking the bushes.
Yes, I have.
And you came across something, and there's some good news coming up. And are you at will to be able to disclose?
It's a sure thing per se, but okay. So this is in regard to some people we've had on the show before, and some people who are going to come on the show potentially in the future. And one of them is we had AJ Lestat AJ Tafiowski, who is deeply involved with the QAnon thing. I mean, he was one of the propagators of the actual video propaganda campaigns, and was deeply involved in that. We had him on the show several times. He has an open line and call right now. Anytime he's on Skype, he's one of our contacts, right? And so he was engaged to be married to this girl named Professor Dilley, and she wrote a paper that Arturo was also involved with, but it was her paper, and it is submitted for peer review. It's about QAnon and how it manipulated the mentality of the people involved, right? How it was a deliberate operation, and it's a pretty well written paper, man. It's got a lot of respect in the community. It's really
that's
well-written.
exciting. So sometime after,
so she was going to marry him, right? Tomorrow, actually, and so that relationship broke up, but she might come on the show shortly.
That'll be sweet.
It ties into Thomas Schoenberger, who I've had contact with, and he hasn't been on the show yet, right? So all what I'm saying is all the people involved in this whole thing are coming forward and are going to be available to us. So we've already had AJ on the show, and she's going to come on the show perhaps shortly after Christmas. And then Thomas has an open mic, here to come on anytime he wants to. So yeah, I think it's really an important thing to get air out, because QAnon is such bogus stuff.
Yeah, on some level, I mean, we're here, we're where we are as a result of that. But I mean that kind of ties into public opinion and the court of public opinion. Because there's a lot of stuff that
who are most involved, right?
There was a lot of stuff that came during that whole propaganda campaign, and there was a lot of things that came out around certain people. Accusations were made, accusations that were never answered to or spoken about by the actual person, because they would never acknowledge anything that came out that was said about them, because if they were to say or deny, they would be considered to be guilty of whatever it was, right? So people that get accused of doing certain shit in the public court of public opinion, and then develops a filter bubble where people sit in there and they all have the same opinion about whatever it is and whoever it is, and they start calling people out for certain activities that are not it's not good. The activities that people are accused of, and then when they don't answer back, they don't deny it, then by silence they're considered guilty, are they not?
Yeah. Well, so for listeners who maybe not know what we're talking about, so we're talking about the formation of QAnon, right here. That's what we're talking about. So, and what happened was, the person who started it is probably a girl from St. Louis, this artist. I mean, it's probably who did it, and then it got caught up in 4chan, and it got propagated, and then it got snatched up by Steve Bannon, who we're going to talk about. We're not going to do till after Christmas, because I have a Steve Bannon show. We all know this, right? But we'll do this after Christmas.
Come back, Epic Journeyman.
Yeah.
Come back.
Control the major. Yeah, but what I'll say is, like, in the course of this, I've gotten to know a lot of these people, and so I've gotten to know and contacted a lot of these people, and I've had conversations with them, and it's not like I'm just speaking out my ass, so to speak. Pardon me, my French there, but I've gotten to know these people, and so when AJ came on here, when Lestat came on here, this is his tagline. We've had him on a couple times, like 3 times in the show. He's talking about his version of what happened with QAnon, and it's pretty convincing, man. Thomas Schoenberger lived at his house. It was there, living with him down in Mexico. I mean, it's pretty compelling.
All right.
And then
okay.
I've talked to some. Well, let me wrap it up by saying also I talked to Tom Schoenberger. And Tom Schoenberger would probably like to come on the show and refute that. Well, and then so this woman.
Let's get it on, man. Let's get it on.
An article that is this most well-known article about QAnon that's peer-reviewed, that has some real traction.
All right, that is a 12-minute teaser by Epic Journeyman.
Yeah,
Epic Journeyman.
So
let us retire back over here to the court of public opinion. So because someone says it's true, then it is true for a certain amount of people, right? And then everyone judges it from that point of view, and never take a listen to the opposite point of view to see if maybe there's somewhere in the middle you could fall. And that's the thing, is it's extreme. So, for example, we're talking about the Venus Project because Bruce brought up a resource-based economy earlier, and it resonated with the Venus Project. But what I want to bring up about it is the big talking point generator in the alternative media down in Texas. He exploited the zeitgeist phenomenon when it was happening. It was one of the things that helped propel him. It was that he would exploit anything that was popular outside of what he was generating himself. So he exploited the zeitgeist people, and then when the second part of their thing came out, the Venus Project or Zeitgeist Addendum, the Venus Project, Alex Jones deemed it satanic because Venus is considered to be Lucifer, Epic Journeyman. So they said it was satanic. Now, I don't know if it's satanic, Epic Journeyman. It's hard to really find anything wrong with it. You know what I mean? As far as like a concept or
I mean, it's just like we're talking about these people talking about QAnon, right? So the basic thing is it's very similar, right? It's very similar, like in the sense that so who's right here? Is Thomas Schoenberger going to be proven right in the end? Is Arturo going to be proven right in the end? Is Professor Dilley going to be proven right in the end? We don't know. But what we know is that these people all have their certain aspects of view, how they view it, that were deeply involved with it. Like it's not like they were on the outside looking in; they were on the inside looking out. They were the people who did it, right? So, I think it's really relevant, and
it is irrelevant, especially in the court of public opinion, because, like we're saying, the Venus Project is Venus because something's called the Venus Project. Does that mean it's of Lucifer? Because that's what Alex Jones said about it. And instead of millions of people that listen to Alex Jones going over and considering something other than what the norm is, which is the Venus Project, they absolutely just wrote it off because it was of Satan. How come everything that happens is it's either Hitler or Satan? It's either Nazis or Satan. There's the only two rag dolls left in society. I mean, it's like it has to get worse and worse until eventually there's nothing left. It's just nothing stimulates anything anymore. We're just walking around just drooling, getting our dopamine wherever we get it. I mean, it's everything. You realize that? I don't think anyone realizes, that whole dopamine thing. I don't think people really realize the extent of it. You could literally be put into a psychosis with dopamine overdose. There's children that they're constantly scrolling on their phones and their fucking iPads all the time is because they're getting dopamine from it. And if you take it away from them, they're going to scream and yell and throw a tantrum at the store. Because they're not getting their dopamine, are they, Bruce?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a dangerous world we're living in, Epic Journeyman. But anyways, let's go back to this now. Zoltan was on, and one of the things Zoltan is into is these floating cities. So floating cities are countries. These exist outside the 17-mile limit. It's something called the Commons. Bruce. It's the Commons, the 65% of the earth that belongs to everybody out there. So you can just float yourself a Venus Project type city out there and have a resource-based economy. Whatever that resource is, Bruce, eh? So is 65% of the oceans of the world, is the fish that are in it belong to anyone who can fish it, right? So is that a resource? And then would your economy be based on that fish? Is that how the resource economy would work, Bruce? If I had fish,
no, it's not. I've just sort of let that language slip go till now, but I have to correct it. It's not a resource-based economy. It's a commodity-based currency. Okay? So the currency of a country is valued based on the commodities that the country has. The commodities can be a combination of resource and produced goods. So Germany would score high in the produced goods. Okay? So, and then the African countries would score high in the resources, but this is what we call a commodified currency, okay? Whereas now the currency is just, most of the billionaires in the world now have made their money on currency trading, like the ones in the financial world, the hedge fund people, like George Soros. They've all made that money screwing over money. Like finding the gaps in international money, the weaknesses in it, right? It's despicable. So that's what a commodities-based currency is.
I think General Motors, GM, makes more trading currency overnight than they do selling cars. I mean,
Absolutely.
That's a fact, Jack.
Yeah.
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 So, Epic Journeyman. Now, I didn't realize that Ms. Maxwell, Epstein's life partner, I didn't realize that she was such a... she's got a lot of aspects to her that are kind of incongruent with, you know, the current court of public opinion about her. Wouldn't you say? I mean, she seems like a busy person, or she was before she was put in prison.
Oh, she's an absolute activist. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, I sent both you and Bruce, and we accidentally stumbled onto something called Terramar, and this project was terminated, I guess, a couple of days after Epstein was convicted. That doesn't necessarily mean things stopped or anything ended. It just means that. And there was a UK company also that was an investor in this idea. So you guys had a chance to look at this Terramar video, Ghislaine Maxwell. What did you think, Epic Journeyman? Now, you know quite a bit about her. Now, she's one of the things, I don't know if people know, but she was a submarine pilot, was she not?
Submarine and helicopter pilot, both. She's actually absolute Bond girl. She wore the Admiral white outfit, and she flew people into that island on a helicopter and piloted them on a submarine to get there. Yeah, absolute Bond villain. You know, but see, now, hey, I'm not saying she's evil. I'm just saying, how cool is that in a way? Because she really did that.
So you're telling me
maybe she's not evil. Maybe she just did these things, but still, it's amazing.
Okay, you're trying to tell me right now. All right, I'm listening to what you're saying, and you're trying to tell me after she went to the UN like 9 times, made speeches about this Terramar project, you're trying to tell me that Epstein had her so up, so entranced that he had her doing a Disneyland presentation for people coming out to the island, making her wear a uniform and, play the whole role. I mean, are you kidding? I'm just saying, I mean, you watched that video, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Does that seem...
UN testimony
okay,
too.
So when you listen to her speak in that video about the issues she was talking about, does she seem...
She sounds sincere. She sounds totally
sincere. But I'm
sincere.
just saying, does she seem like she's going to go put on a uniform and, ferry people out to the island or whatever?
No, she sounds like she's committed to the cause.
I know.
Really is. I mean, look, I'm not. It sounds like I'm defending her. To a certain aspect, I guess I am. But when you watch it, no, she's totally believable. It's not like some facade she's putting on. She really believes this, and I get that impression totally. And her dad was killed by Mossad. They killed her on his yacht called the Lady Ghislaine, right? Ghislaine Maxwell, Lady Ghislaine, on November 5th, 1991. Remember the 5th of November. It was Mossad. Everybody thinks it was Mossad that killed her dad. He owned the publishing company, Macmillan Publishing, which did all the school textbooks of everybody in the country, in America at the time. I mean, come on, man. Everything about this is just shady spook shit. Pardon my French. And at this point, you have to just wonder, like, who's controlling who here? Is it Ghislaine is under the influence of Epstein, or is Ghislaine there to try to rein him in?
I mean, it is
because she's way smarter than he was.
Listen,
he's a pretty smart guy, but she's way smarter than he was.
It is literally like a novel. Seriously, what was Epstein doing over there in New Mexico? So
trying to clone the world with his progeny, so that his sperm made the whole world.
You're telling me
his image.
These two, no joke. These two people,
Zorro Wrench.
These two people. She is over there getting Terramar recognized by the UN, just some space out in the middle of the ocean. Okay, and he is over there with a ranch down there with the DNA experiments. So I'm just saying.
Boys from Brazil, like literally the boys from Brazil. It's exactly what it is.
When does he have time to go to the island, and when does she have time to go? Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Maxwell. You have to hurry up. You have to be here at the New York, to fly this helicopter. Put on here's the uniform.
Separate. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make sense, man.
In the fancy white Captain Tennille outfit, you know what I mean? Like except she's a female hot Bond villainess, right? With the hot, white outfit with the gold bars.
Seriously, this sounds like a movie,
half
man.
Dress.
Bruce, does this not sound like a movie?
Nothing I would want to watch, Jimmy, but
it's absolutely. It's like, I don't know. It just doesn't. There's I don't know. It's too much. She's
so there's things about it don't fit, right? Like she is really intelligent. She addressed the UN multiple times. She addressed these panels, like in this video you're referencing, multiple times in the Terra Mars thing. She actually has intellect and skill, and is actually well versed in how to deal with people on that kind of scale. Way more than Epstein ever was, right? So who's running the show here, right? But so on one side you have this idea of somebody who's actually got good ideas and principles, maybe, but is also accused of taking these people and being a groomer. Literally, the word groomer,
right?
Comes
That's
from
what
her
I'm saying.
way.
What?
And taking these teenage girls and taking them to Epstein. What's true and what isn't? I mean, I don't know.
That's what I mean. I don't know.
Her dad was killed by Mossad. Almost 100%, absolutely, positively true. Right? He died on his yacht on the 5th of November, 1991. I mean, the date even, right, is the gunpowder plot.
I don't know. Bruce
it's V Vendetta.
Bruce McDonald. How can people in the court of public opinion know what's true and what isn't anymore at this point? I mean, is it true because someone said it? Because no one, like I say, no one defends themselves over it, and they're considered guilty because they don't. But why do they not defend themselves? Why do they not? Is it because they become then legally responsible for whatever they may or may not say, and then later on that can be used against them in the court of law epic judgment? Because there's been I see Owen Schroyer. Didn't he go to prison? He was saying some stuff, making some accusations about someone's sexual proclivities on the air. Saying that the president of the United States of America had certain, sexual desires. And because he said that, do you guys think it was because he said that, or what do you think it was? Where are they teaching him a lesson not to say? You know, because like I say, Bruce, when someone makes an accusation to one of these celebrities, you know, say something about them, say they do something, they say they're into something. The celebrities doesn't say anything because they can't, but because they don't say anything, then people run with the accusation, and they keep pounding it and pounding it and pounding it. You know, Donald Trump, you brought him up earlier. Donald Trump actually, Donald Trump sued Webster Griffin Tarpley for some shit that he said or wrote about his wife. And it's something that went by. No one really paid much attention to it, but I think you would have to say that that was an important decision that was made. Bruce got his puppy.
Well, the Capitol Police sued Donald Trump for what happened on January 6th, and that's moving forward. So the same can be said for that. I just wonder, like, what happened to Rudy Giuliani today? He got fined $150 million, or very close to, for slandering the girls that he claimed were changing votes in Georgia, right? With no evidence whatsoever.
Well,
so
the thing is,
I think like the civil suits are going to be a big deal in the future. It almost bankrupted Fox News. I mean, it forced Murdoch into retirement. So,
well, so now I saw that Tucker Carlson had Jimmy Dore on there, and so he's had Jimmy Dore on there. Now he had Alex Jones on there, and now I saw another video earlier today that said, I guess he was saying that there was a contract with extraterrestrials made
I saw
by the
something
government
today on some social media post about the extraterrestrial thing.
I
Is this what you're talking about? I'm wondering.
Well, we've talked about it before, how when you get out there and you start telling some truth, you get a phone call and they say you better start talking about purple people eaters tomorrow.
Maybe.
And delegitimize yourself immediately by talking about shit that's absolutely out of this world, because if you don't, then you're going to have a neck snap. Go ahead, Bruce.
Well, with the revelations from David Grush and the congressional hearings that have gone on, I want to recanvass into the microcosm for its position on extraterrestrials, because I know there's been a certain take on this phenomenon in this group for some time, and I don't bring the topic up that much, but have you changed at all?
What do you mean? Like,
well, I know that you guys think the little green men theory is ridiculous, but I mean,
I think the Watchers is true. I think the story of the Watchers in the Book of Enoch is true. I think that the Epic Gilgamesh is true. I think those are historical canon, actually. So in that sense, the aliens aren't aliens as we think about them. They're the spiritual realm infringing on the physical realm, and they are what we call angels or whatever, intermingling with mankind. Just like the gods of Mount Olympus. I mean, it's the same kind of thing. There's something that runs through this that is consistent. So to me, the consistency makes it viable. Does that make sense? I mean, to me, consistency is viable. Like it's not just in Western culture; it's in Eastern culture. It's the Hindus. It's the whole story of Shiva and all these other things. All these. They make sense that it would be some kind of extraterrestrial influence. And that extraterrestrial
no matter what,
they're aliens per se, they're spiritual beings.
No matter what anyone says about aliens or extraterrestrials, no matter what they say, they can't prove it.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
No.
A case can be made, but it'll always, at a certain level, be circumstantial. Do the little green men exist? Absolutely. Goblins. Just go into those old coal mines in Kentucky.
Little people.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I'm just saying. I mean, we can tell a million stories, but when the rubber meets the road, I've got a video of something that looks like an alien to me. But I mean, it's 2023, man. Videos don't mean shit to me anymore. doesn't mean anything, you know.
Well, it can't mean anything to anybody in the future either.
That's what I mean.
Artificial intelligence and deep fakes are what they are, and there's
saying.
nothing real anymore.
No.
A digital picture is
people
worthless.
are buying into the AI Jesus too, and like I said, they would, because when you pray up into the sky.
It's a church of AI. It's a real church.
Because when you pray up into the sky, nothing happens. People don't get any real feedback. It's only what they perceive as feedback in their head. But with this AI Jesus, they can go to Jesus with their problem, and Jesus will talk to them and give them an answer. And they're buying into it. Go look at how many comments in the AI Jesus.
A wicked and adulterous generation seeks for a sign. That's scripture. I mean, so much is in that, right? So much is in that. A wicked and adulterous generation seeks for a sign. In other words, you're looking for something to verify something because you want an absolute fact, because your faith is so minimal that you can't accept the reality of something when everything is faith-based in the first place. All reality is based on faith. Everything in reality is based on faith. Without faith, nothing exists.
Right.
You have faith the sun's going to come up tomorrow. Without the faith the sun's going to come up tomorrow, it won't. You see, I mean, when you come to the absolute realization that it is the combined, reinforced psychology, that's not the right word, psyche of mankind, that believes something, a shared belief, that manifests the reality we see.
Yeah.
Once you know that, there's no going back from that, right? So.
Wise words, Epic. Wise words.
Sorry, I kind of messed it up, but
no.
You nailed
right?
it, dude. You nailed it. I mean,
yeah.
The power of human consciousness is staggering, and the thing that makes it even more complicated is as you go up in consciousness, like the astral plane is very subject-object. You can see crap there that'll scare the shit out of you, and stuff that'll dazzle you with its light, brilliance, and love. Causal plane gets a little bit more wacky. The mental plane. When you get up into those spiritual worlds, the subject-object relationship collapses. You're both, okay? And
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of the stuff that we call extraterrestrial is just astral phenomenon that is somehow projecting itself into the physical, okay? Now, there's a lot of crash stuff that David Grush goes over and things like this. Now, I believe like 95% of that is our stuff, the stuff that came out of the Nazi programs, the anti-gravity, and all of that sort of stuff. This was a great curveball question. Where do we stand on ETs now on Into the Microcosm?
Well,
but
it is. I mean,
you guys should watch one of those 2-hour podcasts, because he's making all the rounds now. He did Rogan, he did the Sean Ryan podcast. David Grush is one of the better voices to come out, and I've never trusted Stephen Greer. He seems like somebody's dog. I just look at the guy and go,
I'm sorry.
Lying. I don't even have to. He doesn't even have to start talking. I just go, he's lying. He's lying. It's all body language. He just looks like a pathological liar.
It doesn't mean what he's saying isn't true. It means he was brought out to say what he says. Does that make sense? He has that not condescending, but that kind of culpable viability when you look at him. That he's not. He knows there's something wrong with what he's saying. Like, you know what I mean? There's a guilt factor in his stance and his stamina and the way he portrays himself to the world. There's something about it that just it doesn't seem genuine. And look, I'm not saying that he's not a smart guy, because he is. You know, but the thing is, like, what's going on with the what's his name? Not Grolsch or whatever. What's his name? The guy who's come forward as the intelligence guy you just mentioned. His name escapes me at the moment.
David Grush.
Grush. Okay, so his eye movements disturb me a little bit. There's something about his eye movements that bother me.
I mean, the thing is, look.
But I'm not saying he's not being disingenuous. I'm just saying there's something. Maybe it's just he needs context or something. I don't know. There's something about that bothers me a little bit. But I'll say this: like, what he's saying is backed up by people above him, who don't come out and say it for him, but confirm what he says, which is kind of weird. Like we agree with what he's saying, but we're not going to say that we put our stamp of approval on it. We're saying we agree with what he says, and once you do that, it's like, well, okay, it's like is it a half truth then?
We've been joined by the Puerto Rican hurricane himself, Billy Ray Valentine. Billy,
hey, what's up, Billy Ray?
What's up with these aliens, man? Bruce asked the burning question. What is Into the Microcosm's stance on aliens? Now, I haven't said anything yet. Epic Journeyman has chimed in, and I see you're here. Billy, what about the little green men? Are they there, or are they not there?
Well, just like the little green men, I am real, and I am here.
So you're a believer, then? Are you a true believer?
That's the key word, right? It's believe.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I want to believe, and that's why the X-Files has been so impactful in my life since I was a kid, sitting down watching that, and I wanted to be Fox Mulder, and I wanted to have that poster in my office. I wanted it to say, "I want to believe," with the UFO on top of it, because I do, right? I always wanted to believe that, and I still want to believe that. But in a way I already do, right? I believe in God, right? I have no proof besides, no hardcore proof. Even though you can make an argument that the human body is hardcore proof of design, right? But who designed it, right? I believe in one God, right? So it's already believed.
And and isn't that really, faith is a very important thing, and that is that someone who can create all this would surely be able to have a way to let you know directly that that was real. But what it requires of you is unsubstantiated faith in something that exists that you have to just believe in.
I think that's the point. Right. I mean, it would make sense, right? If that was the point, if we had all the answers, what's the use, right? What's the point of all of this? So we have to believe, right? Because we don't know. In all actuality, we don't know how we got here, right? We don't know what we're doing here. We're just here trying to figure this out.
Isn't it the hardest thing, though, for people to trust something?
But everybody does.
To have faith
everybody, every single person on this planet trusts something. Even though it's the hardest thing to do, they trust that the sun is going to come up in the morning. They trust that if they drink water, it'll quench their thirst. They trust that other people are their own entities with their own thoughts. They trust that they're not living in the Truman Show. This is all based on belief, because in all actuality, we really don't know anything but what's inside our head. We don't know anything else except for what we are interpreting in our brain. That's it, right? So I'm sitting here with Bruce, and Bruce, we got to have you on the Fringe soon, and Jimmy and Epic, right, and everybody here. But all I really know is me. I'm sitting here. You guys could be figments of my imagination or a very, very vivid dream. I have no freaking idea. And I won't know until it's all said and done. And even that is an assumption. That is a belief of mine.
Even with us sitting here together,
right?
Each one of us is having a different experience of the same thing.
Right.
So, and what I perceive as what you guys are experiencing has nothing to do with what's actually going on in your head.
Right.
Because you guys are all perceiving this as your perception from where you are. And you're hearing and seeing. It's like I noticed this when I was out in public and I was looking at a crowd of people. And I was
went out in public?
Yeah. And I saw this crowd of people, and I was looking at them all, and I was thinking to myself, look at these 4 people are all here together. They're having a day, an experience. They're taking a picture. They're going through what they're going through, and they're completely oblivious to you and anything going on with you. they're in their own thing. It's like when people are coming here to the beach, you know, and they're like in their 20s and they're listening to music real loud and they're cruising over to the beach, over the mountain. You know what I mean? They're in the car going to the beach. They're 20 years old. They have no clue about you sitting over there in the slow lane as they're going by. You know what I mean?
Or they could just be NPCs, right? we could be living in the Truman Show. It could literally be that.
Well, nothing really is existing out beyond your sphere of influence, is it?
I believe so.
I'm going to throw a wrench in the system here.
I believe that everything else exists. I believe that each of you guys are your own entity and have your own ideas and have your own experiences, and we are sharing this together. That's what I choose to believe. I choose to buy into this system of belief, right? But that's all it really is. And when we talk about it bare bones and bottom line into that level, a lot of people can't deal with it, and they start having visceral reactions to it, right? And instead of just coming to terms with the human experience. And I think it's at the core of the human experience to realize that we don't know anything at all. It's all based on what we believe, right? And even the program, I call this a huge program, right? Somebody's programmed this reality because they can hypnotize me tomorrow and I will interpret things completely different than what I'm interpreting them right now. You know, well, so all of this is malleable. Everything can change.
We were talking about it earlier, how over the last 3 years, I mean, there's a big amnesia. It's like a blur. You know?
Yeah, 2020, 22. You know, the thing is, so like this idea of, I'm going to harp on this forever. That belief is the currency of the universe. Belief is like the coin of the realm, right? That's what matters. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters other than belief. So if it's what you believe in. So if you look at it that way, and you think about what's been going on all these last couple of years, what is it that's changed, right? Why are we suddenly, you know, wondering in a way that we're just like a spinning top and not having any direction? What changed where our belief is suddenly in question?
That's what I mean.
If that's the currency of the realm,
our worlds.
Right, what is it? So, and let me also say that why is it that those paintings in the 16th and 15th centuries have these flying people in a rocket ship flying over the Christ, you know, the Virgin Mary, so to speak, with the Christ in swaddling clothes, these famous paintings where there's obviously somebody flying overhead in this medieval painting, right?
Yeah, well, what if they said, hey, Bob, why don't you head over there to the warehouse where Hitler stole all those paintings and have somebody...
Are those...
have somebody... Have somebody...
paintings that stole?
I'm just saying, have somebody etch in some flying saucers in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but what
the
are those
thing is,
paintings that got sent down to Antarctica? You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Like,
just
what are those
saying,
paintings that are missing?
We pointed out how Photoshop type manipulation was available, and that all those photos of dudes standing on I-beams up on building high rises in New York City could possibly not even be real.
Right.
Nobody built those high rises were already sitting there. That type of thing. I mean, why wouldn't they? If they do that, why wouldn't they paint a flying saucer on some 16th century piece of art? Can't think of a reason why they wouldn't. Can you?
Because there are flying saucers in 16th century pieces of art. That's the whole problem, right? like how like how is that possible? In other words,
because they come from the center of the earth, man. That's
what they've always been here. That'd be the other option,
they've
right?
Always been here.
The watchers.
They've always been here. Because, Billy, let me ask you a question.
What up?
If there was a little green man somewhere sitting on a planet and he had advanced intelligence and technology, would he have the same human desire to travel and see what's out there? I mean,
it's funny you should bring that up because I've talked about it several times. Sorry about the feedback here. I've talked about it several times this week, right? And the how humans talk about finding extraterrestrial life, and they're like, well, this planet isn't fit. Like they'll look at let's say Mars, for instance, or whatever. Just pick a planet. This planet isn't fit to hold to sustain life, and they're looking at life from a human frame of mind. We have no idea, what a life form is like, on what vibration they resonate with, or any. We have zero idea. Right? We can go over to another planet and not experience a damn thing. But there'll be tons of stuff around us. Our scope of vision is limited, right? Even here on Earth. Right. So I believe that green men exist, right? And maybe they don't exist like in a green men with 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, a nose, and maybe not like that. But I think there's other living entities, thinking entities around around the universe, or the whatever the hell you want to call it. And I think they probably can access different realms and already know, right? So why do they need to travel here?
So
what's up, buddy?
I kind of reduced it a lot. So when we look at life, we look at it from our point of view, right? When we're looking through our eyes and we're in our mind and we're in our body, we're looking at life from our point of view. It's a fixed point, and we recognize ourselves as an individuated consciousness and perception. I think that concept of individuated perception permeates into multiple forms of life, and not all of them are physical. I mean, the Bible gives several classes of angels: the seraphim, the cherubim, the archangels. Those are individuated perceptions, right? They're given names and so on and so forth. And I think when you get out into this individuated perception of life, there's literally hundreds and thousands of different variations, and dozens we don't even know about on this planet. There's this incredible YouTube video of Sadhguru at this lake in the Himalayas called the Majazovar Lake, and he documents these invisible beings that are entering his chelas, his students, and he proves it by putting a bowl of water, in a copper bowl with water in it, at the top of their heads while they're lying on their backs. And he says, okay, the entities are inside now, and the water starts to boil. And then he has to get the entity out of the person. He says, look, I don't know what this is, but this is life. It's non-physical, and it's life. And when it enters a human body, it understands the body better than the occupant, the human occupant inside the body. That's one example. And he did that video to answer everybody's questions, because everybody's always asking about UFOs. And he went, okay, here's another way to think about life and look at life. There you go. Right? And I think that's Bruce, everywhere when you get into it.
Why don't you get ready to open up the phones, because we're coming up at the top of the hour. Billy, you going to hang around for a bit, Ben?
Yeah, man, I'll stick around.
Right on. So we'll open up the phones, hear what people have to say, see if people think, see what they think. I always, whenever I start talking about shit that's light years away, I start to, my consciousness starts to fade into the fog of oblivion. Because I'm living on planet Earth over here, and groceries are 268% higher than they were in the 80s, Billy.
Yeah.
So even though it's an interesting conversation, I tend to steer away from it, because I tend to want to, deal with what's going on in the world that I live in.
Right.
And I think that I see a lot of people on Earth talking about other planets because they don't want to actually, take responsibility for the planet that they live on, and focus their attention inward instead of outward, because I think it's an inside job no matter how you look at it. If you want to change the world, you got to start with yourself.
Right.
The world changes when you change yourself, your world, Billy.
No, I think you're absolutely right, man. And we don't have to look any further for extraterrestrial life than Rudolph Giuliani. So
he's a rat bastard, isn't he? Isn't that little rat? That guy.
There you go. We have solid concrete proof that the aliens of Beta Reticuli have come.
Let me just
in the
say,
form of Rudolph Giuliani.
Bruce McDonald, you ready to give out that phone number?
864-810-1039. 864-810-1039.
86. Somebody put that in the chat ski. I don't know where Rockin' Rio is, man. I think he's sounding a '65 Mustang somewhere in New Jersey right now.
We're clearing the lines for time travelers only.
Exactly, time travelers only. And let us know what you think. I mean, everyone's got their opinion. I mean, maybe someone can convince me that people from, beings from far, far away, for some reason have this itch to go somewhere other than where they are. And you know what? They're like this. They're like this, Billy. Hey, Billy. Let's say me and you jump in our spaceship and fly light years across the universe and look for a blue marble somewhere where we could go there and interfere with people. We'll just fuck with them for a while. We'll, materialize and then dematerialize and then come out and then, right at the brink of a nuclear war, we'll materialize and make everything not work. Like that. What do you think, Billy? Sound like a good idea? Let's just fly across the, vast, empty space. And
I got nothing better to do, bro. Let's do it.
Find that blue marble.
Right.
I don't know, man. I got to say, it makes me have to go out on a limb, but let's hear what people have to say. Bruce, what's that number?
864-810-1039. I put it in the Skype chat.
Oh, sweet. Well, there's only 4 of us in the Skype chat, but there's 80 people at End of the Microcosm on YouTube, so maybe we can put it in there. I don't know. I'll see about doing that.
Give me the number.
864. What is it, Bruce? What's that number again?
864-810-1039.
Billy, have you ever seen the movie Memento?
No.
Great movie.
Yeah. So, we were talking about it earlier. What if you couldn't remember what happened today, tomorrow? What if all you had was today? Would you write yourself a note to remind yourself about what happened today? I don't know. Give us a call. Where's that number? 864-810-1039. 864-810-1039. Little green men. Do they exist? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Clyde Lewis will call in and let us know what he thinks. What's up, Clyde? All right. Let's take a little break, Ski. Top of the hour. Revolution Radio. freeworld.fm. It's the Independent Broadcast Network.
Ain't no doubt we are here to party. Come on out, got to get it started. Dance with the boogie, get down. Cause boogie nights are always the best in town. Got to keep on dancing, keep on dancing. Got to keep on dancing, keep on dancing. Get that groove, let it take you higher. Make it move, set
Hey, Billy. When I was a stripper, I used to dance to this song. This song right here was one of my songs.
Let them see, yes, me.
And the ladies were stuffing bills into my underwear, bro.
I believe it, JG.
Believe it or not.
My body feels just right. Don't stop me.
Thing is, bro, if you ever have to be a stripper in your life, just remember this. Unless there's people standing in front of you with dollar bills, you're just a dude dancing in your underwear. So never take the dollar bill when it comes up there, Billy. You gotta have leave the lady standing and dancing with her dollar bill and let other ladies come up with their dollar bills because they were scared. But now there's somebody else up there with their dollar bill. So all the other ladies, now they come out. Now they're there. You got a whole crowd. Now you can take the bill and don't stand there by yourself dancing in your underwear.
Knowledge.
I'm just telling you, some street knowledge.
Thank you for the tip. Next time I'm stripping in front of a bunch of women, I will keep that in mind.
All right.
Shake, 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 shake. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah, ooh, ooh, yeah, ooh.
864-810-1039. Is that the number?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I got short-term memory loss. I guess you can, you can be like Memento. All you got to do is live in California and smoke some nice. Tonight, what's on the palate is some Durban Poison. Some say the last true sativa left. I don't know, but all I know is I'm having a good time. It's in the Microcosm Friday night, freeworld.fm. Billy Ray Valentine's here. Bruce McDonald's here. You can find him Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Pacific, Independent Broadcast Network with McDonald in the morning. Got his Starlink, Billy. Now he's rocking and rolling hardcore with, what do you got? 200 meg coming down from the sky over there.
We got a British Columbia caller, Jimmy. Area code 604. I know that one, being Canadian.
Come on in, Canadians. What the hell's going on up there with that little weasel? I don't hear anything, Bruce. Is he
left?
He left.
He was in, but he left.
He in, but he's out. Well, call us back if you dare. Green men, are they real? I don't know. Billy Ray Valentine's here. Some used to say he might be the next late night host that everyone knows about. But Billy, in order to be that host, you gotta come clean on the green men. And you're saying you're a believer. Yeah,
I think so.
Sometimes
I am. Like now, I am.
All right. So
tomorrow I might have a totally different take on this, but right now, I believe.
All right. Now, so if I was to just sit back and examine it, and I have thought about it, I won't pretend that I haven't. But when I see they're not really green men; they're more gray. They call them grays, and they're gray because they're gray meat. That's a slang term for white people, also, in case you didn't know. If a black dude says, "Hey, what's up, gray meat?" he means he's talking to you. But anyways, that tone of that skin, it just for some reason makes me think that it's coming from underground. There's no melatonin in it. There's no they don't get tan. You ever seen any grays getting tan? No. And look at those eyes. What do they look like? They look like eyes that are constantly in the dark. It's like one giant pupil. You know what I mean? I don't know. They look like they're I mean, I don't know. But hey, we got some callers. Bruce, go ahead and bring our callers in. I'm not sure what order they came in.
I guess 604 is first, and then there's our lovely friend Daryl from Arkansas.
All right, so go ahead, 604. Welcome into the microcosm. Thanks for calling.
I think I know who this is.
604, come on in. We see you. And we'll get the people who brought these buildings down. 870, you come on in until 604 figures that out.
I think that's that interesting dude who started calling in about a month ago from Vancouver, Jimmy.
Hopefully he can get his situation squared away. I'd love to hear from him. But in the meantime, Daryl, are you there? My other brother, Daryl.
Yeah, don't forget Larry.
All right. Well, listen. The Greys, are they coming from light years away, or are they just coming up out of the ground like ants?
I'm going to give you my personal feeling. First of all, I want to say that Bruce put out some very, very good information that many people are not aware of, and he put out some really, really good information tonight. And they're and my belief is I believe the Greys are us.
Did Bruce put this information out on the show tonight here on Into the Microcosm?
Yeah. What are you talking about, Daryl?
Yeah, Daryl. What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about, Daryl?
Bruce he has an eye that can see things that most people cannot.
His third eye.
I have a sharp perception.
He may have an open third eye, and could that be the possible explanation for his ability to see beyond most people's ability to perceive?
I agree with that statement.
All right. Well, listen, we didn't call to talk about Bruce's third eye. What we're talking about is the Greys. Are they coming from light years away? Did they have a hankering for finding a blue marble, dude? Or are they just, I mean, what do you think?
I think they are our future. What we used to be, they became basically is our own what we became, and as time goes by, because the thing that people do not realize is all time happens at the same time. So people just can't realize that they are our future past.
We are them. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Isn't that like? Aren't we are the heroes we've been searching for? It's the same thing.
No.
I'm having a deja vu. I'm having a deja vu. I think I've had this conversation before, because I remember saying that before. Are we them, Billy?
They are our future past. You are you. We are we. We are what we are.
We got 360 as well, Jimmy. If 604 is still muted, I don't know. 604, can you speak? Did you find your tongue?
604, come on in.
Yeah, I'm not demeaning what the previous caller said. I'm just saying that is what that is, right? There's something to that.
No, I'm 425.
425. Come on in.
425. It's coming in 604, but
go ahead. He's spoofing his number because he's
hijacker.
He's about to drop some knowledge. Are you spoofing your phone number?
Well, Bruce McDonald, he travels many worlds. He knows lots of worldviews, and I can tell you right now, as far as the Greys, Bruce can tell you, as an Orthodox Christian, a partial preterist, what I believe, what the small Greys are. So take it away, Bruce.
He's spoofing. He's spoofing, man.
Yeah, I don't know how you got that to show up as 604, a Vancouver area code. That's a neat trick, Jacker. I'll tell you what I know about the Greys.
Jacker is jacking as we speak.
That's what Jacker
does.
There's a
whole bunch. All right, Jacker.
I can tell you about the Greys I encountered through John Edmonds, and they can phase in and out of 3D from 4D. Okay, they can go from astral to physical, and their basic constitution, when you is more like a plant. You could say that where we have blood, they have chlorophyll. Okay, and
it's like an episode of Star Trek.
There's something very demonic about them. Okay, something very, very demonic about them, meaning that they don't have the best interests of human beings at heart, and this class of Greys anyways. Okay, so man,
Can I tell just Jimmy? I had a call this week with a TV producer from Georgia about Stardust Ranch. I spoke to this guy a year ago. His company broke up. He reformed a new company. He got back in touch with me. He knows everybody. He knows the people doing the Skinwalker Ranch show and everything. And he told me straight up, he said, Bruce, everybody is afraid of Stardust. They're afraid of it. Okay? They're terrified of this place.
I believe it. I believe it. Okay, listen. We got another caller.
Hello.
360.
Hi, you're on. Yep. 604.
Yeah, is this Bruce McDonald?
Yes.
604.
I'm 360. He's 604.
Yeah.
I'm 360.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Jack.
Is that Hijacker?
Yeah, he's there. He snuck in here.
Okay. Tell him John D. rears his ugly head again and says hi to the Hijacker.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm the guy from a few weeks ago. There was a couple of things that you said that I thought I might call in on, and one is the time travel thing, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I have a theory about why JFK Jr. is still alive, and it has to do with time travel, if you want to hear that.
Okay, hold on a second. Wait, hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Wait a minute.
He's going to go on for 15 minutes.
Well, that's okay.
No, I won't be.
That's
I won't be
okay.
that long, Hijacker.
Because let me just say, he is the conspiracy king. He jammed more conspiracy theories into like 5 minutes than I've ever heard in my life. So listen, I want to welcome.
Okay.
I want to welcome. Right. I want to welcome you.
Let me ask you, 604. Is JFK Jr. 107?
No, I don't think so.
107.
Yeah,
he died recently, right? So I should hope not.
107 died?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The character
you don't know that
known
like a month
as
and a half ago. Yeah.
Yeah, the character. You mean the character known as 107?
The minus 48 guy. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I was going to call in last week because I had a little quiz for you guys to see how much you knew about dark manuscripts, right?
Okay, but before you quiz us, let's stay here.
Yeah.
I know how you tend to. You want to. I know there's a lot you want to jam in.
I
here.
know.
Just take it easy. You got all night. All right, we got 45 more minutes. Okay, take it easy. Okay. JFK Jr., is it the black dude that stands behind Trump when he's making speeches?
No. I do have a story about that. I have a theory about that. And you know that there's about 700 people that everybody thinks are dead that are not dead because they went into the witness protection program.
Terramar?
And JFK Jr. is one of them. Okay, if you want to hear the story, I can tell you that real quick. This is my theory. And it has to do with time travel.
You're going to see some Q plot. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, no. All right, listen. I'm going to release the dogs.
It all goes back to the Eldridge. And
I'm going to release the dogs on you.
Oh, yeah.
Don't make me release the dogs. Okay, come on.
There is a time traveler. You may have heard of him. His name is John Titor.
Yeah, right.
And he claims that he had to go back to the 1970s to get an IBM computer that for some reason they needed in the future, and I don't know why that is. But he was told on his way back to the future, he was to stop in 1999 and meet with JFK Jr., John, and let him know that he was going to be assassinated by Hillary Clinton by having his plane blown up. That was the deal. He was supposed to tell him and warn him about that.
Allegedly.
George Norrie outed John Teeter. You do?
Yeah, I know about that. This is my theory, though.
Allegedly.
Allegedly,
I just have a quick question. Do you think that this dude, this time traveler, do you think he could get past the activation lock on a MacBook Pro?
I don't know. I have no idea.
That might convince me that he's from the future.
All right. Well, listen.
Well, whether it's this is my theory anyway. That he was told to stop in 1999 and warn JFK Jr. that he was going to be murdered. His plane was going to be blown up. And by the way, if you know, Sean David Morton had this talked about this too, and he said that he knew that Hillary was going to try to kill JFK Jr. because they were both running for senator in New York, right?
Allegedly.
Okay.
And
five conspiracy theories. Keep going.
Yeah, well, both JFK Jr. and Hillary Clinton were running for senator in New York, and everybody knows that Hillary Clinton wouldn't have had a snowball's chance in hell of beating JFK Jr. for senator in New York.
Sounds
so
feasible.
she planned to have him murdered, and this
allegedly.
Allegedly. And Sean David Morgan had this theory too. I agree with him on this. That she had a motive to kill JFK Jr. because she was running for office.
So
this,
so hold it right there. Hold it right there. So this goes exactly what we were saying earlier. The court of public opinion. So right now you're presenting a case, and you keep throwing up the rag doll of Hillary Clinton and presenting the idea that, it's no big deal to her to just have somebody killed, allegedly. And, because of the type of people that we have here listening, we don't particularly like Hillary Clinton. So it wouldn't take too much to convince us that, that's what you're saying is true. And maybe the black dude standing behind Trump is JFK Jr. with one of those rubber masks on. I don't know.
It's a big deal.
Let's get off the fifth conspiracy theory and get back to the first one, Peter.
Okay.
Well, no. Let's not wander off too far,
John.
Because the whole thing about Juan 7 or 7. It's not that he's necessarily dead, right? Like that guy is not necessarily
His
the guy who's dead.
character is dead.
The thing is, the Midas 48 guy who propagated him in Dallas is dead. So in other words, the person who propagated that person is dead. It's not that 107.
When I see a dude sitting there, and that guy, all that guy spouts out is conspiracy theory lore. Like it's common knowledge, like he has Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
It's not common knowledge. You have to be involved in this to know.
Hold on a second. He repeats stuff that's been common knowledge in the alternative media for 25 years as though he personally experienced it and relates it as a personal story. And then you see him sitting there with his boots and his shirt and a window that looks like it's looking out at the Capitol. First thing I noticed about the guy is he's got plastic ass boots on. I mean, if you're some elite dude with a bunch of money, why are you wearing plastic boots from Ross Dress for Less? The second thing was he's got like $100 watch on. I mean, anybody's got a Rolex on. At least get a fake one, dude. I mean, come on. How much? How believable is this shit? Actually. And then here's the kicker. The kicker, and we never released this on the air either. None of this stuff that I'm about to tell you. I'm just relating what happened. We clearly reversed Juan 07. Okay. A long time ago when he was very popular on all these shows, running around doing these interviews. And what was the title of his book? Little Boy on the Side of the Road? Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, well, guess what? Yeah, exactly what you're thinking is what he says in reverse. So that little boy on the side of the road wasn't him. It was some other little boy on the side of the road.
Remember the video of him standing by that Lamborghini and said it was his? And then the next part of the clip, the cameraman comes out of the office building as the Lamborghini is pulling out and drives by and basically says, there goes 107 in his Lamborghini. I mean...
Come on, man. Come on.
No.
You know what's funny, too, is Bruce, you, on your show, at one point, you were going to have him on, and then you sussed him out and thought he was full of shit.
Well, no, he said he didn't want to come on the show because I kind of deconstructed his book, and he didn't like what I did.
That's what I said. You thought he was full of shit.
Well, I outed him as a temple prostitute. You know, that's my euphemism for people who want to rebuild the Temple of Solomon, Jewish or Gentiles. And there's more Gentiles than Jews these days.
It always comes back to Abraham for some reason.
It's all about the temple. Everything going on right now is about the temple, whether you see it or not.
Listen, Bruce.
The third temple?
Bruce, give out the number. Okay,
864-810-1039.
Give us a call. Let us know.
By the way,
go ahead now. Listen, go ahead.
Okay, when you're talking about the third temple and all that, I had heard a program about a man who claimed to be a reincarnation from 2,400 years ago, and he was talking about he knows where the Ark of the Covenant is and the Spear of Destiny or whatever that is, all those artifacts that were in the temple before it was destroyed. And he told Jason Shirka that he knows where it's located. And Shirka said, well, how do you know? And he says, because I was the person that put it there. And he said it's like 150, he said it's like 150 feet below the Dome of the Rock. And there's apparently a Jewish school there right now. That's pretty wild, eh?
It's in Ethiopia, dude.
It's in, what is it?
Well, I've heard that one too. I've heard that too. But you know what? I've also heard, according to Edgar Casey, there was like 5 temples, 5 different arks of the covenant.
Mm-hmm. Well, why do you think there's no ark on the Ark of the Covenant anymore? Do you think what do you think the ark is? The Ark of the Covenant. The ark is a giant ass spark, isn't it not? And the covenant is the contract between us and them. The covenant was broken, and the ark doesn't work anymore.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah. Well, okay.
You broke the covenant, man. The magic is gone. You broke it. You broke the covenant.
Jordan Maxwell used to say he used to say Steven Spielberg, you can call him a lot of things, but stupid isn't one of them. And then he goes, the Ark of the Covenant, where did they find it in Raiders of the Lost Ark? He's like, it was in Egypt. He's like, because it was called the Ark of the Promise, and they had several of those things in Egypt, right? Apparently that's where it originated from. I looked that up, and apparently that's where it originated from, and they had tons of them. Somehow, the Ark of the Bible, right, made it down to Ethiopia through the Queen of Sheba. What was the kid that King Solomon allegedly had with the Queen of Sheba? I forget his name. And they took
Michael
it and brought
Jackson?
it down there, so they wouldn't loot the temple. So the legend goes.
May I speak my opinion of Ark of the Covenant? Because
oh jeez.
Oh yeah,
I just letting you know I got my finger on the button, so you better stay.
Mom,
you better stay
Mom,
on
you
topic.
can go to bed now. Just turn it off.
You better stay on topic. My finger's on the button. Bruce, get out.
It is exactly on topic, because the Ark of the Covenant, because you look back in history, and it's back in the basically the Ark of the Covenant, from what I see, is when Moses, and that's also spoken in the Bible, right? But the thing is that pyramid existed like a millennium of years before then, and they did not know how that thing operated.
How many years?
The Ark of the Covenant.
How many years is a millennium?
1,000.
Millions of years.
Millions. All right.
Right.
Okay.
And so anyway, that Ark of the Covenant was the main generator of that pyramid that
have you ever read
put out electric grid. Exactly.
Daryl, have you have you ever read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth? Because you should, because there's a part in there where he talks about how he built the pyramid, and he talks about specifically what it was used for. So check that out, dude. You should check it out. You can see them, find them there on the internets. They're there. Check them out. Some people say they're not real. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe Harry knows. Harry from Down Under. What's up, man?
Yo.
You're here with Billy Ray Valentine, Bruce McDonald, Epic Journey, and myself.
Boy, this Starlink doesn't miss anybody, Jimmy. 609 just joined.
609. All right, stay there, 609. Harry, what do you got to say? The Greys, are they...
Look, I feel like I'm banging my head against a brick wall with you guys. The body, embodying the body, right, is what they talk about, in a metaphysical term. Your body's your temple and all the other stuff they talk about. The body is earth. The earth is the temple, all right? And all the Ark of the Covenant is just the Nungawadi cord, which is Aboriginal concept, same thing. The arcs are just like the umbilical cord for the firmament. That's all they are. They maintain the pillars of heaven. And there's not just one. There's 144 of them that need to be restored across the plane to establish the firmament. When the firmament's established, whether the temple in Jerusalem is going to be the first or the last, I don't know. Maybe the first because they carry on like pork chops. Pardon the pun about the Jews not eating pork, but anyway. But the thing is, it's a system. It's to do with a fine technology that they've lost. Moses took the ark from Egypt. That's why Pharaoh chased him. He says, "Give me my gear back." And he says, "See you later, sucker," and drowned him. So
that's what I was trying to say.
Harry, do you have Starlink?
All right, Daryl. Thanks for calling, brother. We appreciate you, bro. All right, there goes Harry. There goes Daryl. Looks like 609. What do you got?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I didn't know there was a bunch of those arcs in Egypt, and I was going to say that Moses, the Jews probably ripped one off and took off into the desert with it. And that's what the Egyptians were chasing them for.
Yeah, maybe they're
it's plausible. They're ripping everybody off today.
It's the Jews who are not Jews.
Not just them, but it's the situation where it's.
Well, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that say that the magicians that came out of Egypt are what eventually became what we know today as the Jews. But I mean, that's a topic, for discussion, I guess. I don't know. Magic came from somewhere, and
this is why the Tetragrammaton or Yahweh, the four faces of God, became the unmentionable name of God. We can't talk about that. All right.
Well, they say I'm just saying that these magicians that came out of Egypt disguised themselves as Jews. That's where What do you think about that, Bruce? Is that would you say that?
Yeah, it's more complicated than that. We could do a whole show on it. But basically, yeah, the basic premise you can interchange Egyptian and Jewish quite easily. Mm-hmm. I think Moses was a blood-born Egyptian. I think Joseph took his family in there voluntarily. I don't think Jacob was kidnapped in that multicolored coat thing, although I really enjoyed Donny Osmond in that.
Okay, listen. All right, listen, I need to go get some cup of coffee.
Gene,
I need to hang on a second.
I want to back you up on that. You actually got Jesus that backs you up on that point. When he tricked the Jews, and he said to them, other words, he was saying, Abraham looked to see my day, and he rejoiced when he saw it. And they goes, well, you're not 50 years old. How could Abraham see you? And that's when he says, before Abraham was, I am. And he used the name of God that picked up stones. But then he says, you say you're children of Abraham. And indeed you are. But you are slaves. And that's when he tricked them. And they go, we have never been slaves. We are the children of Abraham, but we have never been slaves. And so that would give credence to what you just said, Jimmy Jean, that there was some of the bloodline that was mixed with the Israelis that weren't slaves, that came out as the priest class, and later they came up to take over the temple, become the Pharisees and the Sadducees. So anyways, there is a basis for what you just said, actually in the New Testament.
I think if you look at the DNA evidence, that the population that's in Egypt now is not the same as the population that was there previous. I mean, there was even an imam who had come out and said that the Queen of England had direct blood line to Muhammad. And that's what the imam said. It's not what I'm saying. So, I mean, it's an interesting thing that's gone on. I mean, even, I don't know if you guys have heard any of this, what I'm about to say, but I mean, there's people out there saying that Genghis Khan had red hair. And he was a white dude.
That's
Well,
true.
they say that Muhammad had red hair because that's why some Muslims dye their beards red, right? To emulate Muhammad, right? That's what's gone on out there. But I also believe that a lot of this, that King Tut's DNA comes from Britain, right? And that's true to a certain degree. But I also believe a lot of this comes from white supremacist sites and narratives that are pushing that, and you can find this lore comes from there often.
Last week we
says
talked
that everything out of Egypt was, comes from
last week
Europe or stuff like that. Like, I mean, I don't. There's a lot of conflicting views about that.
Last week we talked about Abrahamus Africanus.
Right.
Because there's people that say that Abraham Lincoln was black. He was a black dude, and he was a Moor king. And his name's Abrahamus Africanus. So let me ask you this. If it's white supremacists that are saying this stuff, which is, and I just want to say, there's thousands of mummies, literally thousands of them, that have red hair. The oldest mummy coming from there has red hair. I forget what they call her. They have her name for Billy Ray Valentine. But what about this? Abrahamus Africanus. What do you think about that? I mean, just because he's white up on that statue, doesn't necessarily mean he's white. You can look this up. I'm not kidding. If everybody thinks I'm joking or you think I'm being sarcastic, I swear to God, go over there on the internet and type in Abrahamus Africanus.
Right. It's not just that it's like white supremacist or whatever. It's this comes from something, right? There is truth in this, but it's the Red Ice Radio and places like that have taken the narrative and ran with it for their own purposes. But like, let's take Egypt for instance, right? That's not the name of the land to begin with, right? It was the ancient Kemet. That's what it was called. Egypt is the Greek word for that land, right? So there's a whole history that's not being brought to the forefront, or at least that most people aren't completely aware of, for whatever reason, But that's just the fact of the matter for whatever reason.
Well, Billy Ray, let me go one better than the white supremacist thing that you're on.
816 joined as well, Jimmy. 816 joined. About 5 minutes.
It is the beard ones. In other words, the ones with facial hair.
I'm here.
In other words,
go ahead, 816.
Hey, how's it going, Bruce and Jimmy and all the crew out there? I just wanted to chime in for a moment if I can. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear. Yeah.
Okay,
Loud
good. Thank you. Thank you, Tom, for getting me in. I appreciate it. So the question is, what is the Ark of the Covenant? Basically, the Ark of the Covenant is a covenant that God made. It was a conditional covenant with the children of Israel through his servant Moses. He promised good to them and their children for generations if they obeyed him and his laws. But he also warned of despair, punishment, and dispersion if they were to disobey. So as a sign of his covenant, he had the Israelites make a box, according to his own design, and to which he placed the stone tablets containing the 10 Commandments. This box or chest was called the Ark and was made of acacia wood, overlaid with gold. The Ark was to be housed in the inner sanctum of the tabernacle in the desert and eventually in the temple when it was built in Jerusalem. The chest is known as the Ark of the Covenant. The real significance of the covenant was what took place involving the lid of the box known as the mercy seat. The term mercy seat comes from a Hebrew word meaning to cover, placate, appease, cleanse, cancel, or make atonement for. It was here that the high priest, only once a year, that's Leviticus 16, entered the Holy of Holies, where the ark was kept and atoned for his sins and the sins of the Israelites. The priest sprinkled blood of a sacrificed animal onto the mercy seat to appease the wrath and anger of God for past sins committed. This was the only place in the world where this atonement could take place. The mercy seat on the ark was a symbolic foreshadowing of the ultimate sacrifice for all sins, the blood of Christ.
Instead of going to the encyclopedia, where do you think the ark is at?
I'm in a biblical site right now reading this. I'm not saying I agree or disagree.
Right.
But basically, it was a box. It was not an energy. It was not a source of energy or power or any kind of device. It basically contained several different objects. Okay. And it was placed within the Holy of Holies, which at the first, back in the day, it was just a tent. Okay. And only the high priest could go in there.
Interesting.
And even then, if God didn't accept the high priest, they made sure that they put a rope on his ankle with jingle bells. Okay.
Right. Well, Jimmy Jean, I think the caller's a host. Aren't you a host on Revolution Radio?
No, my name is Robin. I just know Jimmy.
Robin's a friend of the show, but this is what I was talking about earlier. Is because Robin's bringing information to the table right now that goes against the grain of people that have a viewpoint. In other words, we all think the Ark of the Covenant was some thing, and we believe that. And now Robin's
an energy device, and it's not.
Right, and
it's
so
not an energy device.
So Robin's here with the information saying, "This is what So you got this from a biblical side about what it is." So
got questions. Biblical answers.
I could back her up, find the same thing enough.
Go ahead.
The Ark of the Covenant was built to carry the 10 Commandments, right? And
also, a manna bowl, and also the rod of Aaron was inside of it.
Aaron's staff
and Aaron's rod.
Those were the things that were in the Ark of the Covenant.
There was only 3 items in it.
That's the conventional explanation for it, the literal explanation of what the Ark was. But it was also brought into battle by the Israelites, and they would never lose when that was there. So that's where the speculation comes in as to what it actually was, right?
I understand what you're saying, Billy, and if I can interrupt. The Ark was only brought into battle when the Lord commanded it as to be that way.
Okay.
Because there were many battles that the children of Israel lost because they disobeyed. They weren't hearing from God.
This is what
God
I'm
didn't tell them to go. They lost certain battles too. But I understand what you're saying. But what I'm saying is that it wasn't always brought into battle, and sometimes it was brought in wrongly.
This is where the narrative comes from, because it was brought into battle, right? And it was supposed to be,
but not always,
a symbol of power. Whenever it was, it doesn't matter if it was always or not. It's whenever it was brought in.
Okay, but let's go back. Let's go back though. It represented the very presence of God.
Let me finish my point. All I'm saying is that when it was brought in, right, that's where the perception comes that this was some device of power as a result. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it was brought in all the time. I'm just trying to paint a picture of where it was brought. And now even in Ethiopia, there's only one man that's allowed to go in there and sit with it, if you believe that that's the Ark of the Covenant, right? And he called it a thing of fire. He's blind as a result of it. according to him. Right. And
but
so,
see, that's where that's all speculation. But unless you have
speculation, everything is speculation. It goes back to the beginning of the program, or when I came in, it's all belief.
Speculation.
All of this is belief. Every single thing that we're talking about is what we believe. It's all speculation.
I don't go into beliefs. I go into knowing. It's
you
just
don't know anything.
That I know.
Here's the thing, though.
I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. And there's some things that I don't know, and I'll admit to it when I don't.
Whatever.
I don't have a problem with that at all. But what I'm saying to you, though, is to go back to it. It was just basically a box that God had them make, and basically it was to represent the covenant that God made. A conditional covenant that God made with the children of Israel,
and the covenant was broken.
Three items, basically,
the covenant
is what I'm saying. That's
the covenant was broken, and whatever the ark is doesn't work anymore because you broke your word. The covenant has been broken. The power is gone.
That's why Jesus came to restore that covenant, because he came to fulfill all prophecy and the law.
All right.
Because of the Old Testament, it's all about the law.
Okay,
it's all about the law.
We got another caller.
This is the only thing I know for sure in this conversation. Harry just turned his camera on, and I'm pretty sure there's a court order in Australia telling him to stay 100 meters away from schools.
Harry. Listen.
But I appreciate you hearing me out, though.
Thanks,
Thank
Robin.
you so much,
Thanks, Robin.
Gentlemen.
Thanks.
You're very knowledgeable, Robin. Yes.
Thanks for calling.
Well, I stay close to God, so I'll just hang and listen. And
we love you. We love you, Robin.
God bless you, Robin.
We love you, Robin. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I was just going to interject to Robin that the actual finger of God touched the stone, so the stones actually could have had a vibration. In other words, think about what was in the ark. The actual finger of God actually touched that stone, and so it's like when God spoke, He created everything, vibration. So something maybe with Him touching the stone, maybe in a dimensional type of way, that charged those stones up, those 10 commandments, because of the touch of the finger of God. Go ahead.
I don't know how you snuck in here, hijacker.
No, he called back.
I threw
him.
I'm going to call back anymore. I won't.
No, I'm just teasing you, dude. It's like a nightclub. I threw you out. Somehow you snuck back in. But there he is.
Yeah, you go, hijacker. Yep. Shout out.
All right, you guys. We'll talk to you later.
Do you remember the time Moses came down from the mountain, all illuminated, after having a party with 70 of the elders?
Had to cover his face.
And came down with the tablets, or actually the sapphire crystals, if you look at the root word, and saw the Israelites worshipping the calf, the golden calf, and he had a hissy fit and smashed them.
Right.
Remember that?
Right.
Who is not muted up, and it sounds like you're opening your mail. I'm gonna hang up on all you phone callers unless you practice some etiquette around here. All right, go ahead. You done there, Harry? There he goes, Harry.
Well, the point I'm trying to make is I've just dropped in the Chaldean oracles of Zoroaster. It talks about the Chaldeans, or AKA the Akkadians. Now, what people don't realize is that there's this wealth of knowledge that came like in captivity in Babylon, when the Jews were in Babylon in captivity for 400 years, whatever it was. They had all the information given to them because of that, what they knew. And the Chaldeans talk about, or in the introduction of that.
We are number 8 on TalkStream Live right now, Harry. So your words are getting out there. So stay strong, brother. Stay strong.
Right. It talks about that the Hebrews never had the higher understandings. They only had the lower understandings. Basically, how to psychologically control the human, the species. They didn't understand the higher orders of things. And this is why Moses said, it's the unmentionable name of God. We can't talk about it, because he took it. He took that. He was groomed as a prince in Egypt, right? So he had the understandings. Even Jesus, like when Herod did the the thing and said, kill all the firstborns because some dude's going to be born and we don't want him, taking
Herod.
over. Yeah,
that was Herod.
Yeah. So where did they go? Egypt. Right, and in the Talmud,
when the family,
even in the
Come
Talmud,
out of her, my people. Come
even in
out
the
of her.
Talmud, they talk about the Egyptian Jew, Jesus.
All right, 609 just left. 604, you're still there.
Yeah, Ralph Ellis has a lot of interesting research regarding Jesus Christ actually being a king, the king of Edessa, which I find very fascinating. He's a very interesting researcher. He's been doing it for many years. I listen to a lot of his podcasts and interviews. He's very interesting.
Isus, the king of Edessa. Yeah, his Queen Helena was the Jewish queen, and she was a concubine, or she was one of the wives of some dude in Iraq, I think it was. And that's how it's all interrelated. That's how Isus come about, is through that relationship.
Yeah, because the story of Jesus, the biblical story that people are familiar with, is actually the opposite of all the evidence that Ralph has located, and he's gone to these places as well. And so Jesus came from a very wealthy family, and he married into wealth. And so he was a king and he was a priest. And this is what most Christians, they don't go into these other realms like I do. I'm very open, and I always ask the Holy Spirit to reveal to me whatever it is that's truth and what's not truth, and to also confirm it, because I need confirmation. Because if I don't have confirmation of something from 3 different sources that don't know each other, then I just shelf it and I put it aside, until more information comes available. Yes, sir.
Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Robin. I read a book back in the 70s called The Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ. Did you ever read that book?
I've heard of it, but I haven't read it.
All right, listen.
Well, it talks about...
We got another caller in here.
About
330.
330, go ahead.
Hey guys, it's Trish from Ohio.
Hey
How y'all
Trish,
doing?
good. What's happening?
Nothing. I didn't really have anything to say. I just didn't want to be the only person in the world that didn't call in tonight.
Yeah.
So that's all. You guys are having a great show.
Hey, thanks a lot. No, seriously, I mean, back to what we were saying, the Greys, what do you think? They coming from light years away, or are they coming from inside the center of the earth?
Yeah, my personal belief is it's obvious that the Greys are all females. There are no male Greys, and that's
no, that's not.
They drive 3 billion light years, and once they get to Earth, they crash the vehicle.
That can't be true, because my last name is Gray and I'm a male.
Right, slapstick comedy, late night style, freeworld.fm, Billy Ray Valentine. We got about 15 minutes left. Where do you want to take the conversation? We got jammed phone lines. The hijacker keeps sneaking in the back door. Oh, he left. There he goes.
No, that's 330. That's Trish
hijacker's still here.
No, I'm still here.
All right, I see.
I got a bomb to drop if you're ready.
All right, good. Let her rip, man.
Okay, so this is where I'm at, and I got evidence for it, physical evidence. So I've become a partial preterist. Jesus came in 70 A.D. With the Roman army to rip the temple down.
Oh, yeah,
he set up New Jerusalem.
Nah. This is no bomb. This ain't a bomb, dude. You talked about this. You talked about this already like 3 months ago. Man, this shit is dead.
I heard that one.
This shit's dead.
About a month.
You haven't heard this, Billy?
No, I mean, maybe. I don't know. What am I supposed to be hearing?
No, this.
In other words, the thinking is that we're at Revelations 20. Look up that. That's what we're in. We're in the age of deception. We're after the 1,000-year reign of Christ. And then there's a small season.
Well, now there's the AI Jesus, man. We don't need Christ anymore. We got AI Jesus. We can just hijacker.
What is an AI Jesus? What is that, Jimmy? What's an AI Jesus?
There's a Jesus AI, and you can go there for redemption, and you can go talk to it.
Yeah.
And you can go there, and it'll talk back to you. You can pray to it, and it'll answer your prayers, apparently. Because there's millions.
Like THX.
There's millions of people that are flocking.
Yeah, I was thinking that THX. Yeah.
They're all flocking to it. Because
I want to address the gray. Can I address the gray thing though?
Yes, please.
I have a really difficult time with the alien perception because I'm open and I listen to everybody's stuff, but I'm kind of on the same page as you. It's like unless you can actually have verifiable evidence to back that claim up, I'm more skeptical of what one is saying.
You're from the show me
state. But then again, that challenges me in other areas because there's a lot of things that I accept, and I'm having to, look at that.
Yeah, that's
and go. Well, wait a minute.
That's what we were saying earlier. It requires you. It requires you to have faith in something that you can't prove. And so it's the same. It's the same concept around God. Is the same thing as we have to have faith that it is as we think it is. As we think it is. Be live it. Be live it because we intend it to be so.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Well,
but
Robin,
my other thing is to address it. I just want to say though, I also think though that the military is involved in a lot of this alien stuff, and I think that they use it to control opposition, and they use it to keep people in fear and trauma.
The Merovingian line, and Lawrence Gardner, he was commissioned as the Pendragon to record the history or the royal families of Europe, and he discovered the same thing. So. The bloodline, holy bloodline of these people, it continues. And this psyop deception that the Romans, that Constantine did with his, first of all, he said, right, everyone, come here. Give us all the information you got. About 2,000 scribes.
Harry from Down Under just went under.
No.
He froze like Job. He turned into a pillar of salt.
Well, Robin, think about this. Think about the Greys as clone containers. Just like the pigs that the demons were commanded to go into the pigs and they ran off the cliff. Think of Greys as a container in which these
The Greys clone themselves into a dead end.
Yeah.
That's their problem. See, that's one of the reasons why they're abducting people to get material so that they can once again be able to procreate like we do. They can't do that anymore. They clone themselves into a dead end.
But see, my point of view on it is that to me that's all military operations. It's like the military going and abducting these people and then pretending to be these entities to get everybody to think that they actually exist. I mean, that's just my point of view. I'm not sure if it's correct or not. I'm just stating that that's where my mind goes.
Some of that is true.
Bruce McDonald, weigh in. I see you shaking your head.
Well, I think I agree, but I would take out the word governmental. I think that what we're dealing with now are transnational entities that have this technology. I think it goes back to the Nazis. I think Joe Farrell nailed a lot of it. And,
that's right. Well, that's why I say it's military, and it's also because a lot of the militaries have been privatized, and they also have corporations that back them up, and tech. You know what I'm saying? And all these tech companies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's all one big alliance. These are not separate entities like they like to appear to be. They're all one big alliance, and then they use each other. And so if one is not serving one's purpose, they'll drop that one and they'll pick up another one, but they're all coming from the same pot. You follow what I'm saying?
The military the Nazis did deals with the aliens, just like our military has done deals with the aliens too.
Oh man!
Yeah, see, I still have a problem with the alien thing. I don't know if they exist or not. I cannot, because I don't have enough evidence.
All I can say.
Sterling doesn't miss anything,
Billy
Jimmy.
Ray still on the
I haven't
call?
missed
Is
a call
Billy Ray
yet
still on?
tonight.
I'm just
Is
saying.
Billy Ray still on the call?
Good to the last drop. Yes, Billy Ray is on the call. Billy Ray, you're being addressed by
I
one.
just want to encourage him to get a hold of Revolution Radio and maybe pick up a show. We're losing a lot of hosts over there, so Billy Ray,
Billy Ray's got his own network over there, and it's called freeworld.fm. He's right over there. We're on the network now, Hijacker. So you're being broadcast to a whole new audience, bro. And no need to thank me, bro. No need to thank me, because we we're open to everybody here on Into the Microcosm, aren't we, Billy? We're friends. We're friends to the people. We want to hear different viewpoints because we're not stuck on stupid. Like if information comes to the table that makes something else that we thought previously seem unrealistic, well, we have to move on, don't we, Billy? Don't we have to move on once we find out something's wrong? We have to admit it and then promptly admit it and then move on, right?
I've noticed though that Epic goes quite quiet when the unwashed come on the call.
Is Epic still here? I haven't seen him since he checked the perimeter last. Epic Journeyman, are you still there?
And who are the unwashed?
Yeah, who are the unwashed?
Those are what the Roman senators referred to as the plebes.
The plebes. We're all plebes.
Oh.
Aren't we?
I'm glad that I'm not one of the unwashed.
Aren't we all just slaves?
We're the serf.
Aren't we all
We're
just
the serf.
Aren't we just slaves on the plantation?
Brainwashed, right? Is that what they call brainwashed?
I'm unwashed, sitting in my underwear, just listening to all this.
You're in your
Thank
underwear?
you for clarifying that, Bruce. I appreciate
just
it.
had to be unwashed today.
Yeah.
Hey, may I say something real quick?
Is that you, Daryl?
Daryl snuck back.
I thought I told you guys to lock that back door. These guys are sneaking in like there's no door. What am I making? Not making no cover
I can't
charge.
remember all the numbers, Jimmy. I've
All right, go ahead, Daryl.
Okay, I would just like to say, something that was just recently said about the Greys. They can no longer they can no longer have children.
Procreate.
So they're a dying species, and that's why I see that they are coming back into time to change their DNA over.
Oh man, I'm just saying.
Well, I don't appreciate a species coming in and like, imposing themselves just because they're a dying species.
That's what I'm saying.
You have to have a conversation.
It's
you have to like
bullshit.
say, hey, would you be willing to help us out here?
It's all bullshit. We're out
And
of
you
here.
don't hijack me, man.
Don't
you know what I
hijack.
mean? It's like, I don't need that.
Hey, boy.
Hey, this has been Into the Microcosm Freeworld.fm, the independent broadcast network.
So Jimmy Dean is putting up 5 and you're going to throw it away.
I'll see you later, hijacker.
Okay.
Something's got me so excited, baby. A feeling I've been holding back so long. You got me shook up, shook down, shook out on your loving.